Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bourbon Neophyte. And I just want to say happy Halloween Eve to you all. Some of you, it may already be Halloween where you are, depending on what side of this big old globe you live on. But tonight, I've gotten requests to do this particular stream as a follow up to the one I did, into which I said there would be another stream um, on my scary good whiskeys. And this is the part two. So tonight, that is what I am going to do. And it was extremely hard just to sit down and pick whiskeys that I really liked, but there are a few that always stand out no matter what it is. I don't care who you are, you have a few that no matter what you have or whatever, you always find yourself going back to a certain particular bottle time and time again. Well, I really sat down today and I pulled out some bottles and I looked at them and I go, yeah, this stuff is really good stuff. So I'm going to go through that tonight. And I know there's going to be some people wanting to join. And what I want them to do is when you come on, have a bottle or two of something that you just find scary good. It's something that you can just sit down and drink dram after dram after dram. And like I said, I know we all can do that over and over and over again. So let me get this link posted here. I know people are anxious to get on here in a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and get the introductions, see who's all here, because I know people have been popping in. Bad Axe, always appreciate you. Know you're working hard, keeping people safe. Thank you for what you do day in and day out for us, brother. Cheers. John, always great to see you. Dan, what's up? Nice to see you, brother. James, how is everything across that pond? Hope all is well over there. Yes, it is. You have no idea what kind of problems I had with that intro. It was working perfect earlier today. And that thing, all of a sudden, in the last 2 hours, just didn't do one thing right. And I have no idea why, but I got it working. It is not the way it originally was. So I think as one of the other slides and stuff that I had in there, something got corrupted. So it was just better to pitch that thing all together. The people that are here, I've got lined up to come on. Just give me a few more minutes and I will be bringing you on momentarily. I know Big Vic cannot wait. He's excited. I see him back there jumping up and down. Eric's so excited that he came into the light and actually enjoys peated scotch. I mean, what can I say? Sometimes you just have to guide people down the right path. That's all I could say. Eric, cheers, man. Thank you for coming on. Vic, appreciate you for being here. Mike, as always, great to see you hanging around here. Always love it. Tim, cheers to you. Glad that I got them samples to you because when I threw them onto the porch, I was sure hoping that was yours because I had to get back here. That's for sure. Bill, cheers, man. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Whiskey Saint, cheers. Thank you for popping in here. And of course, Jim, what would we do without you around here? Really appreciate it. Slapshot, always great to have you. Dustin, as usual, keep swirling that glass. I'll be with you momentarily. Mark, cheers, man. Cheech, cheers. Thank you for stopping in. So make sure everyone gets their stuff ready. What are you all sipping on? Let us know in there. Really appreciate it. Greg, thank you. Yes, sir. I know you're going to be coming out here in the next few days. So, yeah, you know where I live. Just go ahead, drop that off. If not, just leave it on the porch. I'm all good with it. I'll get it or I'll have the neighbor. So, cheers. Shelby, cheers, man. Bourbon Baller, cheers. So, tonight I've decided just to start out with something simple. And honestly, I don't know why I didn't open this thing when I did. I had it for over a year before I opened it. I knew it was good, but I never tried it. Listened to Scotch Down Under rave about this thing. And when I opened it, I was surprised. My first scary good whiskey for this year I opened up is the Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. I mean, it's 90 proof, but damn, this thing has flavor. I could not believe how good it was. And I only opened it. Well, I've had it open for a while, but in that first week, I took it right down past the shoulder with no problem whatsoever. It was that good. So that's what I had poured in this glass right here. You guys like that topper? It's pretty nice, isn't it? Glows in the dark. But I'm going to pop a few people on here as we go. Well, look who's here. Cheers, Nick. I don't know if you're home yet. I know you've been working diligently. That's for sure. Old Granddad 114, that was a tough one not to pick up and add here. Even though I do love Old Granddad 14, there were so many others that were so damn close that it was tough. And I still may reach back and pull that thing out because someone else mentioned it besides you. Let me pop some of these people on here while we get going. Adam, cheers. Eric, here comes. Hey. Oh, there's Big.
Cheers, y'all.
Coasters rolling in here. We got Dustin now. Let me go.
Cheers.
Go down.
I promise this time I won't do what I did the last time, or I'll try not to anyway.
We got the deep southeast right there. We got Cheech down in Florida. Cheers, everyone.
It's good to see everybody again. Long time no see.
Yeah. It's been 60, 80 seconds since I've seen all of you.
It's been 6 minutes.
Hold on, Cheech is on a different time zone though. He's like,
yes, he is. Yes,
that dude is after midnight.
You're not a very good one either.
Monday morning.
Well,
hey,
I'm in the future.
Jim.
I'm in the future.
Jim, he's in that end of the world. That is for sure. And then you want to talk about a different time zone? We got the UK represented in chat too tonight.
James Morgan.
What can I say?
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. there. Jeez.
James Morgan in London, France.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I don't know why I waited as long as I did to open this darn bottle.
Oh my God.
That Lost Monarch?
Yeah.
It's surprisingly good. It really
is.
It honestly, no joke, it really is. I mean, I heard Ken talk about it, and it just sat back there. I have Lost Monarch, Pipe Dream, and the other one was Emerald Giant. Yeah, they're good. But I just didn't open this one. And then finally I just said, you know what? I'm going to grab that thing and give it a whirl. And holy smokes, right from the first pour, it's great. It's light, but the flavor is like, wow, what was I waiting for?
Damn, Jim, calm down,
Jim in
son.
those glasses, man.
He's just throwing glasses.
Sorry.
It's not glasses.
Sorry.
It's actually maybe bottles or some shit.
Mute yourself.
He's channeling Martian. He's all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Man, I just
somebody
some whiskey in my eye. Oh.
Well, wear your glasses. You'll be all right.
Goggles.
But somebody mentioned that they didn't think I'd be talking Scotch. Wrong.
They thought that. They don't know you.
Cannot talk whiskey and not talk Scotch. So that'll come up. That will come up. And you all know that, in my opinion, a really good bottle of whiskey besides this Lost Monarch, which I had to get, which I didn't find this year's yet. However, I can't leave out my smoke. The straight bourbon.
There you go.
I cannot leave that out.
Yeah,
Although the Halloween bottles for this
nice
year
fake
are
out, Anthony.
I just didn't find them yet here, but I know they're out. I've been told, but I'm telling you what, for $35, $34.99 out here, this is a solid buy and a solid whiskey. I love this stuff. I mean, I keep ample supply up there of this straight bourbon. I mean, this is something that I have no problem in throwing down on the table if anybody comes over here. And I just love that rye spice in there, that 36% rye mash bill.
I mean,
that
you have to give Aaron Chepin a credit. He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't argue with him. I don't. The
Cheap
only one
rated.
Here,
I'm
but
on the fence on,
There's just
the
that
only
one.
one I'm on the fence on is that
Bourbon.
bottled and bond rye.
I like that one.
I like that.
I
one.
don't think it's terrible. I don't. I'm just going to have to actually. I had a taste of it, and I was like, it just. I don't know. Maybe my expectations were high, and it just wasn't quite there. But I will end up buying a bottle. But they want. I think it's $69 for
Yeah,
a
it's a
bottle of it. And I'm like,
Mm.
I thought that was high, but if it drops down a little bit here, which I do think it will, because I don't think it's flying off the shelf. That's for sure. But I will end up getting a bottle of that because I really do want to give it a try and be able to sit down and spend some time with it. But the first sip I had, and like I said, I'm not trying to be disparaging or anything like that. It didn't wow me, but it's not enough to make me go, no. So at some point, I will break down and get a bottle of that. I actually saw it today. I had it in my hand, and I was like, no, I'm looking for other stuff. Didn't find
Yeah,
anything,
I've been there.
but just
Maybe
put
it
it
needs to
down.
open up. Maybe not.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I do not know. But
If you thought it was Halloween costume, or they just have a regularly dressed as Burton.
I'm glad Adam brought his mask.
Yeah.
I am
Did I hear right,
question,
Anthony,
Melissa.
that you can't find the Halloween bottles yet? You haven't found them?
I didn't see him yet.
That's weird.
They're here.
Well, I can probably get you
Tell
one,
me,
but I'm
they're
gonna have to ship it to
everywhere
you.
else,
I mean,
but here. And when they do hit here, they are gone so quick. It's not funny.
Wow.
I just want to get at least two of them. You know, one is a.
If you
one
can,
to have
if you
and-
can't find them, hit me up, bro. I just picked up 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I-
shelfers
I-
here right now, I think.
Well, like I said, I could. Well, I'm not going to walk to the to the distillery, but it's like 10 miles from my house. But it's
okay,
like,
Anthony, no
they're
offense,
just-
but this music is like so much.
It's Halloween, bro.
You can't hear it.
Halloween,
Before
everybody.
Halloween,
It's
it just
officially
wasn't
Halloween
floating
over here
around
on the East Coast.
Happy Halloween.
I don't hear the music.
I just hear like ringing. That's all I hear in my ears.
It's the bells.
Oh well, I was thinking like the church outside was actually going off.
Yeah, I thought it was like a siren, like a.
At least he's not playing tubular bells.
I did
No,
that.
you're fine, Anthony. I'm just.
I did that for Jim's sake.
What is that?
I did that for Jim's sake. I can't hear it. I hear it very.
It's a
faint.
little
I did
loud.
hear
You
it
could probably
when the bells
tame it down
when the
just a
bells
bit.
kicked in on it. I heard it. I caught it right then and there too.
Scott's
I
just being
caught it
sour
just-
because his team lost.
Jim needs to get his hearing checked.
Well, you know,
I don't mind hearing
you gotta
stuff.
win. You gotta lose.
I got in
That's
here.
just how it goes.
How is it that for the first time ever, Adam has a better hat than Anthony does?
You know what? There was a particular hat I was looking for, and I could
Yeah, you can
not
buy a crane.
find it. I could not find it because I haven't pulled it out in a
But-
long time. And I thought about it. It was a little too late to really get and do a deep dive.
Do you matter?
Try to locate it.
Tony, we don't want to know if you haven't pulled it out for a long time.
Yeah, but here and there, he's
If you really want the Halloween bottle, I can get it to you and ship it to you.
Oh, I'll come up with it.
Oh,
I am not worried about not getting it.
Okay.
I am not. That is for sure. So,
I mean, he's gonna ship one to freaking Canada.
hey, got to do what you got to do.
Hey man.
But one of the other bottles I will say is that I really like, and I haven't touched it in a while, but who doesn't like the rare breed?
Gotta love it.
oh yeah.
I love it.
Be it the rye or the Kentucky Spirit.
I
Right?
can still find that one
I like
pretty
the-
regularly now.
Yeah.
It was gone for about 3-6 months, but now
The
it's
bourbon,
Yeah.
bourbon and the rye wine with the Kentucky Spirit, I've pointedly avoided because it's hard to justify buying the Kentucky Spirit at the price point that it's at.
Jim loves the
Yeah,
It
but
is
it's,
overpriced. I will tell you. I will say that. I think it's overpriced in the Spirit, but I did buy it a while ago. But I like it.
Fair enough.
So you think
Yeah,
Russell's like single barrel and rare breed are just way better, Jim?
Anthony, blend the rare breed with a 101 rye.
I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
problem with this with the
Fantastic.
Kentucky Spirit is they have it in the same bottle as the rare breed, so automatically it gets stacked up against it, and it will never win against rare breed ever.
I've had
I
some.
don't
picks
know.
that you-
I've had some pretty exceptional freaking Kentucky Spirits.
I've had some picks of Kentucky Spirit that were pretty good.
I've had just bottles
Alright,
on the
fair
shelf
enough,
of Kentucky
fair enough.
Spirit that I were blown
Jarrell,
away.
what Starlight is that?
Because it's a single barrel.
Like I had an 11-plus-year-old one once that was really something nice.
Oh, never mind. I know which one. I saw the.
You know which one it is?
Hold that up again, Jarrell.
Hi.
You know which one it is by that?
Which one is that?
By the
I can't see
color
it.
of the label.
Which one is it,
Sticker.
Vic?
Oh, okay.
Is that a pick?
I got it now. I see the label. There was light on it on my end,
What's
and I
his
couldn't
name?
tell what it was.
Which one is
He
it,
went on the
Vic?
pick. He went on the pick with you guys. What's his name?
Oh, is that a Imagine Journey pick?
Maybe
No, the Scotch. Yeah,
Sunday evening Scotch.
Sunday evening Scotch. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I will say I'm comparing Knob Creek 18 against Elijah Craig 18, and Knob Creek is kicking its ass. I know,
Oh yeah.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Bro.
I know it's higher proof, but it's definitely like way better. Way better.
Wait, you said price? Aren't they the same price retail roughly?
About, yeah.
About. I think
about.
Knob Creek is a little more.
They were both 180 for me when I bought them.
I was gonna say I think they were 180 or 189.
Yeah, we can get Elijah Craig for 150 in our state.
Oh, 150. Well, it's cheaper than Kentucky. Jesus.
Well, it's because they're a control state and they have to pay retail.
Well, no. I'm talking retail in Kentucky.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, cheers,
Good night,
cheers.
Cheech.
Cheers, cheese.
Maybe I paid one. Yeah, I mean, they're very similar in price from what I paid, but okay.
See you, Cheech.
Cheech.
Cheers, Cheech.
All right, Cheech.
Cheers, brother.
It happens.
Cheers, brother.
Dude, the Elijah Craig is like all bananas to me. Like it's
The
crazy.
difference
Elijah
in proof
Craig?
there is it's like this. I know they're not that far apart, but it's like a really
it's
important-
90,
yeah.
90 and 100. 90.
Yeah,
and
but like 100's like a good proof for bourbon, where 90 is just not quite there.
And I agree with you. Most of the times, I do not like a 90 proofer. But when you hit that 90 and start going north, it really goes. But the 100 is the sweet spot for me on a bourbon, and then north, of course. However,
it's like Scotch where it's 46.
There are a few that I will go
Yeah,
with
I was gonna-
because it has very good flavor, and
Yeah.
I like it. And then when I want something simple and I want something that's just flavorful, boom, this Lost Monarch does it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've got this in the glass, and this is after 120 plus proof Bookers, and this still holds up. It's obviously a little thin,
Mhm.
but having this after 120 plus proof Bookers and it still holds up, that
Yeah.
speaks to how good this whiskey is.
And I agree. Now, the one that Adam has, that 18, he dropped off an 18, a sample to me one time, and I tried it, and I thought it was good. And I put it up against
Nice,
a few other
Monty.
Elijah Craigs. And after I did a blind, and I didn't know what it was, I had my wife pour it, that 18 came in dead last.
Yeah.
And small batch did beat it out, because I just thought small batch, and flavor wise, was way
Oh,
better than the
mhm.
18.
Yeah.
The 18 alone, by itself, not with anything, I thought was fine. However, with the other ones, no. Nope.
Yeah,
and
and
I think they missed the mark at doing it. Was it 94, right, Adam? The proof on that?
90.
90.
90?
It's 90.
Yeah.
So can I pose just a question to the group here and just get your all's thoughts?
Definitely not Jake Horn.
When you get to, and I'm kind of arbitrarily coming to the number here, but when you exceed, let's just say over 12 years old in bourbon, as if the proof is super low, it's a huge negative. Whereas some of the younger bourbons can do better while they're still younger proof relative to what they are. I've noticed that, like, again, you get like more bitter and sourness coming through on those older bourbons when they proof them down too much. It's just me.
And there's probably a reason they did. It probably just didn't work out.
Well, I think a lot of times with the old stuff, it's for
Money.
money.
Well, I wouldn't
Right.
doubt it because you're not bottling as much at 18 as
It's
you
really-
do at
I'm just saying,
other
like
ones.
that
Yep.
EC18, like it was the best EC18 I've ever had, and it was a really good one. But compared to the Knob Creek 18,
Knob
like
Creek
it's
18, right.
it's like
nowhere
two
near.
levels
flavor.
down, dude. Like it's not even close.
But I think a lot of that's
Flavor
the
in the Knob
proof.
Creek beat it hands.
But here's the thing, like
Yeah,
the
proof.
Knob Creek 12 cast strength, to me, at 120 is way better than the
No, the
Knob Creek
knob
15.
12 cast strength of what? 120 point whatever, and then one.
Whatever,
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
like
but-
120.5 or
Yeah.
whatever.
That
Is
was
100
a
times better than the Knob Creek 15.
yeah, but that was
At
also
100
a
proof.
super small batch, whereas the Knob Creek 15 was a massive batch of whiskey.
Was it though? Like I
Yeah.
don't.
54,000 bottles were
It
released
was-
of that.
Yeah, 54,000 bottles. That's a huge number.
The knob 15 or 18.
15. I don't have it. I don't have a friend of mine who worked.
I
for Knob
found
Creek
the Knob
anymore.
Creek 12 cast strength easier than to find than.
They only
Knob Creek
released the Knob
15.
Creek cast drink, the official batch, in like
In your state,
It
bro.
was very
Look,
Midwestern.
I could not
Midwestern
find the
stuff.
like. I found one bottle of the 15.
The 15 was a national release, whereas the 12 was in a certain number of states. So if you happen to be in a state that got it, cool. It didn't go to a lot of states.
Dude, I got my 15 in
Okay.
Vegas for
I
90
got like
bucks.
3 bottles of it.
And that was like 30 less than I could get it in my own.
Scott.
Well, no, there were some store pick
Scott.
12s that were, but those
bro,
were separate batches.
Bruh, they're gone.
But
Yeah,
so if you got a store pick from like one of those places, I can't
Yeah,
comment.
I
Those
have
are
one
probably
bottle left.
small.
And it's, I'm keeping
But-
it on. So.
I mean, those 12, there were multiple batches of the 12 cast strength,
Yeah.
but each
two-
batch was very
two batches.
small.
The 12 cast strength had the button on it. And it had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little button on it, and that was amazing. But
Yeah,
Because
15
Total
came
Wine's
in
got
a
a couple
fucking
batches
box.
from what I've heard, one or two,
regular
and then the rest of the
12
country got one, and it didn't go national.
No,
It was a much smaller.
I don't know. I just ended up finding it way easier than the 15. The 15 was a unicorn.
The 15 got more hype, but I know for a fact that the production volume was massively higher on the 15.
I don't know.
And it dealt. I actually
fuck
had a
come
friend of
here.
mine who
Apparently,
worked
because we got too much 12.
Probably
well, again, I just had a friend who worked for. Actually, 12 was harder for me to find than the 15.
I
Regular
was
12.
saying, I found
When it
3
came
bottles of the 12 cast strength, and I found only one single bottle of the 15.
No, I found more Knob 15 than the 100 proof Knob 12 when it first came out. Like,
I can find the Knob 1200 proof right now.
yeah, I mean,
So-
again,
Yeah,
distribution's
so can I.
really weird.
Yeah,
What
I
I'm
can
saying is,
find
I've
the
got a
12.
friend who worked for Jim Beam at the time
yeah.
in the packaging department. I said, "Hey, how many bottles came out?" He gave me the numbers.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
It's pretty much as good as you're going to get there.
yeah, I only got one of the batches. I think one of the batches of the 12 was like 10,000 bottles or something. But they did do a second batch I didn't know about, and I didn't ask him, and he doesn't work there now. So I didn't ask him.
Checking.
So for me, I don't know how many of you guys have had this, but I don't think there's any of you that really haven't. But one of them that really blew me away this year, because I was never a fan of this particular whiskey because I don't like Texas whiskey. However, this
Iron
one
Root.
changed
Oh, okay.
Oh,
my
okay.
mind.
Yeah, you've been talking about it for a
The
while.
Still Austin, the cast
Yeah,
strength,
you love that.
changed
I do
my
like it.
mind about Texas whiskey.
Have you opened that
And,
Iron Root yet? The
Oh,
Harbinger?
I haven't opened it yet, but I've got the bottle, and
I think
Vic
you should
gave me a
open it.
sample when he was here, so I've got that the same one. But I just happened to last week. There they were on the shelf, and I haven't seen them. I bet you 6-8 months or more.
The Harbinger.
Well,
is
did you
so
kill the
good.
sample?
I didn't touch it yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
compare.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Harbinger.
was
is
last
good.
Exactly what I'm thinking. Your bottle to this one, yeah.
Yeah,
All I
drink.
know is Still Austin is now the official whiskey of the University of Texas, and that
Well,
kind of makes me.
I'm
wanna
telling
go
you what.
tell them to go shove it.
Why would
I
a college
was-
have
I
official
was-
whiskey? That
Scott,
seems
Scott, don't
counterproductive.
don't do that to me. I'm a Big 12 fan. You know I'm a Kansas State fan. Don't
know.
make me hate Still Austin.
I know, right? It makes me hate Still Austin.
don't make me
I'm not
hate
even in the
Still
Big 12
Austin.
anymore.
Hey, look, what can I say?
I love Still
them.
Austin. I don't want to think about them being the official whiskey of University of Texas.
University of Texas.
Oh,
So Anthony, you asked what were we sipping on?
God.
That's what I'm having.
Sorry,
Oh, you
Eric,
got
I
some
just
of that
ruined your life.
old
I'm
goat,
sorry.
do you?
You did.
Yeah.
God. You haven't seen those commercials? God,
Really?
they're
No.
everywhere.
It's really
Huh.
good.
It's like the
What's
new
a commercial, and how do you see those? I'm confused.
Some of us watch live TV because they watch sports.
A lot of sports.
Well,
We're
apparently.
sports ball people.
Only this guy.
I watch my sports from like internet
No, I'm
streams
sports
that,
ball. I'm
that
sports
don't
ball
include the
too.
commercials. They just
Oh,
leave them
well.
all.
This guy.
Great.
This guy
That's
too,
nice
but
for
I don't know
you.
where he went.
I
TikTok.
watch.
Oh,
He's probably making sure everything is in order.
Like I was just watching an
He's
NBA
doing it.
game, and every time a commercial came on, it was just a blank screen.
I have a YouTube.
He's doing a
YouTube
TikTok.
TV. I love every once in a while. There's like the moment of Zen or whatever the fuck where they can't show like certain commercials
Yeah.
because they don't. And it's just like a bird.
This is a commercial break.
Commandante Lou.
I was thinking.
brother.
I was watching a game once. It was like during the playoffs, and I don't know. I just found a really goofy guy who's enjoying streaming stuff. And so as soon as the commercial break would kick in, he would just have women twerking.
Commandante.
And I was just sitting there going, "What are you doing?" Like he was like he'd move them around the screen. It was just weird.
Man,
Commandante Lou.
damn, Eric.
Like this
I'm
guy
still
was
drinking
really
this
having a blast.
Ezra. Holy shit.
That's right. That's what I said too. When Commandant Lou's here, you know things are about ready to just go crazy. So
Hey, sorry. Go ahead.
something
Anthony,
else
appreciate it.
that I like, and I know Adam's got it, and I know Mike has one, is that we picked up the same store pick, and I was
Right,
never a fan of the standard expressions from them, and I've went back to them several times. They're not bad. They're just not my cup of tea. However, you get a darn store pick, Frey Ranch,
Frey Ranch.
especially
some-
north of 130 proof. This is 137, but we know it's not.
That's
It's right
from-
around
that's from
133.
That's from field to glass right there. That
It
goes
is.
from
Yeah.
that's field to grass.
See,
glass.
I had a
glass.
sample of a pick, and I wasn't a fan.
And I'm
But it
telling
wasn't
you
that
what,
high.
this thing, wow. And they're
Is it
about
good?
about 90 to 100 bucks depending on where they are. But yes,
Eric, private chat.
the picks to me is freaking amazing. I just love sipping on this. But it's like I said, it's over 130 proof, so you're sipping on it, but you're not going to pound this too much. But I'm telling you what,
Scott,
it's
Scott,
damn
yes.
good.
Scott,
I'm
yes.
glad to hear that because I've got a
Yeah.
I've got a
Yeah,
Frey
yeah.
Ranch coming from JD Bourbon
Tastes
approach that I
extremely
won
tough.
on Ken's hair
I'm okay
contest,
with
and I
that.
think it's a high proof one.
It's hard.
So I'm
to
excited
tell.
now.
Jim, I'm telling you what, you won't be disappointed in it. Not at all. I mean, I like it. I just saw another store pick. Lee's out here has one. I didn't bother to look and see what the proof was, so I know it's at least 130 or north. So that's fine. I'll probably end up picking that thing up here in a little bit just because they're just good. And I want to try somebody else's pick to see, because sometimes they can both be spot on. Other ones could be totally different ends of the spectrum, good in their own right, but flavors can be totally different. And it's hard to believe, just like Eric said, that goes from the field right to the distillery,
It's
right to the barrel, to the bottle. It never
Field
leaves.
to glass.
Yeah, it never leaves that. It's up here in Fallon, Nevada. And
And I think
Like I
they're
said,
good. I
the
like
standard expressions, they're okay. That's it. I'll leave them on the shelf. But this particular pick, whew, man, it's really, really good. Really good. I'm so happy I got it. And because Adriana Whiskey Mountains did her stream on Rise, because you all know how she loves Rise.
Yeah.
I figured, well, for her, I've got to include a rye. This, I know Cheech likes it because I saw him drinking it. The Boo Rye.
Oh, I love that
Boo
Boo
Rye.
Rye.
One of her favorite distilleries. Kidding. But this, and it is thanks to Whiskey Mountains that
She only likes
she
this
dropped
from
this
there.
off here. I didn't get that one
Campfire's
yet,
good.
Brian, but I just was telling my wife I'm going to have to pick that up because I
That's
was
an old
listening to
school
you
campfire,
talk about it.
too.
Like, yep,
No,
I
that's
gotta
the
get
new
that
campfire.
Is it?
New.
But
Yeah,
That's
that's the
new.
new campfire. The old campfire
No,
had
this-
black labels.
Yeah, it is.
The black
New
ones.
one.
Whiskey Mountains dropped this off to me a little while ago before they were here last month.
Nice.
And this is exceptional. Of course, you can only get it up in
At the
Utah.
store.
You can't get it over here. And so they just happened to save me a trip. But this really was a good pour. Well, is.
Speaking of
It is a good pour. And it's I'm
speaking of
glad
High
that
West,
I
I'll be
got
getting
it.
my Midwinter's Night Jam Act 10 on Wednesday.
I have never had one of those yet. I actually put last year's down because they wanted like $110 for it. And I said, it's ridiculous. I didn't want to
I've
pay
heard
that
it's
because
worth
I said
it,
it's
though.
good, but it's not that good.
Nick, I actually got gifted a bottle, and oh my god, it's so good.
Evening,
It's
Kathy Joe.
so
Cheers.
good.
Hey, Kathy Joe. How are you
Hey,
doing?
Kathy Joe.
Joe,
I've been thinking
wow.
about you today, Kathy Joe. I know you had a kind of a rough couple days, so I'm thinking about you.
Everything's all right.
Yeah, she just had some
But-
animal things.
Oh no, is mustard okay?
Mustard. It was a horse thing.
Oh, okay.
She can talk about it if she would.
Okay, I was just worried it might be mustard. That would be sad.
That's a horse thing.
But now that turned out to be another good bottle that, like I said, someone had dropped off to me that I tell people if they through Utah or have connections that can get one of those bottles, you're not going to be disappointed. It is a good bottle.
I'm watching Darrell clean out his glasses. He's
Anthony,
shaking
I'm
them
about to
out.
buy
Just a little wet.
That's
I'm
what
I'm
I
about
do,
to
man.
buy
I shake
Halloween
them
bottle
bad
if you
boys
want me
out.
to just
Just a
put it in
little
the
bit.
I'll
same
let
order.
you know.
Same order.
I went and bought a bunch of micro towels the other day, microfiber towels. Those things clean
Those
your
work
glasses up. They
really
clean your
great.
glasses up better than anything in the world.
Yeah, they're
Oh, yeah.
really good. I have
Yeah,
one.
there's no lint, no nothing left on them.
Nothing.
Nope.
Man, your
That's what I
glasses
clean
are
my
just-
hockey shield with.
and your glasses just shine. They shine.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
should
get
watch
lazy.
Mike clean glasses.
ones.
Which, by the way, he cleans glasses. We never drink out of the same glass at any point in time while we're there.
You shouldn't.
Who you
So-
talking about, Dustin?
Like, so when I kind of get together, literally
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy.
every
Joe.
glass between every pour.
That's tough.
It's that dude washes more while we're drinking together than I've
You go after your horses.
anything else he does.
Oh.
What kind of-
Kathy
Yeah,
Joe,
that is
All right,
terrible.
time to go.
Kathy Joe, I'm so sorry. I used to have horses, and horses are just
Oh,
really
wow.
big dogs. They're gigantic
never have.
dogs that you
That's
can
what-
ride.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, Kathy Joe. That's sad that you had to put them
Mike's
down.
got like 25 glasses, but the thing is,
Nice,
we go
Kathy.
through 30, 40 glasses during a session drinking. You know,
Crap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's literally
On- on one of these, if I'm doing different flights or different tastings, for me to go through 8-10 different Glens sometimes, just me sitting here with different ones in there, it's easy to pour through glasses.
I've got 30 plus Glens
Yeah,
for sure.
it's so easy. It's so
But when you
easy.
get when we get like 4 or 5 people together and we're going through glasses, man. I mean, Mike is just washing the whole night, and like, every glass has to be hand washed, hand dried.
Yeah, I'm
The only
the
thing I
same
do to my
way.
glasses before I go to bed is put a little bit of water in it so I don't get that stupid black
Exactly.
brown ring in the middle.
Perfectly. Rinses clean, wipe it out the next day, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But you know,
no. Mike won't sleep until they're cleaned.
we sit here a lot and we talk about our different bourbons we like, but how many of us like Irish?
I love Irish.
Like Powers John's Lane.
Hell yeah.
That's a good one.
We
So-
don't speak about that
But
whiskey,
we don't.
Scott. Shut up.
Well,
So one of
Well,
my favorite
did.
That
bottles
whiskey doesn't
that
exist.
found-
I already
Not
know what
real.
bottle that is.
Ours
that I
117.
found by accident, and particularly at the price point of $32.
That's a cool
33
bottle.
I could not pass it up, so I picked it up. So I picked up a bottle of
Limavady.
Limavady,
Limavady.
and I have the backup for it already. It's directly behind me on the shelf.
Damn.
But this thing was great, and it's 46 ABV, so it's 92 proof. But
could-
this was delicious.
You
The
could
bottle
turn
looks
that-
like an
a
old
chance
milk
to
bottle
pick a
with the
bottle
cream
of
on
this
the
up.
cream separator on the top.
Dude, you
Yeah.
you could turn that bottle into a real serious dab hitter. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah.
For those of us in this
You would
world
go
who
there.
smoke a little marijuana, that would be a
it.
dab hitter. That would be it. That would be the one right there. That's a dab hitter.
The only problem with that bottle is that glass cork is a bastard to get out.
Once you do it about a dozen times, though, it gets a little better. But you're right. When I first got it,
you
To get
guys
this
are
thing
opening
off
your bottles
was
more than
a
a dozen times.
pain. But it worked.
right? Right?
But I'm just telling
Opening a
you,
bottle a dozen times. I
This
opened
thing-
2 bottles a dozen times.
this
Dude,
thing
this
was great.
Jesus Christ. Every time I pour this, I forget how good it is.
What is it?
It's the King.
Oh,
Okay, Kentucky.
yeah, that's really good with Coke Zero.
I,
Great with Coke Zero.
every time I pour this, like, it just shocks me how it just destroys everything else I've had all night.
Oh yeah. So
Especially with-
the other one, since we're talking about Irish, and it was very hard for me to pick this one, but I picked this one because I favor the finish. The other one,
This is even a really
In this
great one.
hold on. I
Oh,
gotta
look at this
highlight
guy
that
fucking
because
flexing
I
now.
know what it is. I just gotta look a little closer.
Shit.
2019.
back
Yeah.
away,
Kentucky.
back away,
Back away. A little bit
back
more.
away.
There you
I
go.
gotta go all the way in so it'll.
There we
There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
Nice.
127. 2.
Oh, it's a Brown Foreman product.
Yep,
Really?
127 too.
It's King of Kentucky.
Why did I think that was a Heaven Hill product?
No, it's
like
Brown
what-
Foreman, man.
It is
Nice.
really
Forester.
good. Great with Coke. Great
This
with
is actually
Coke
the same
Zero.
mash bill as
Oh, yeah, it goes good with Coke.
Make
What's
this-
that? What's
Coke
that one
Zero.
everybody loved? The Bottle and Bond deal, the cheap one that just got sold.
make theirs.
Oh, early times?
Yeah, same mash bill.
Really?
It's
Wow.
the same. It's the same
Wow.
mash bill as early times.
Yeah, this starts his life as early times.
Oh wow!
I've been doing that.
Well, like I was saying, on this particular one, the other one that it's close. I mean, the only difference is it's cask strength, and I love cask strength in it,
Red bread.
but I like the finish on this.
RB.
But that cask strength is amazing also. But I grabbed this one, which is the red
Yeah.
Red bread.
EX. Sherry
Cool.
We knew what that was. We knew what was coming up.
is
Oh,
really
yeah.
good.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the red breast cask strength, the 12-year, is just absolutely amazing
It's
also.
a
But
hitter.
I
Oh, it's
just
such a
like
hitter.
the finish. And if this thing was cask strength or a
the
little
proof
more
on that?
north of 46 ABV,
I agree.
holy smokes. This
I do
probably
too.
would win hands down.
I saw the PX one time and it was gone, like the next day. So
But-
I didn't even get a chance to buy that really.
But this
saw him a
thing
couple of
is
times.
really this thing really is good, and then it's opened up. It has really come alive. You know, that sherry influence on this thing with the maltiness
So
is
good.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than it's really, really good to me. But it was very hard not to grab the Redbreast 12 cask strength because
Oh,
it was just
God,
like
yeah.
a butterscotch caramel.
So what is the
coffee,
MSRP
just-
on the 12 cast?
What was that, Vic?
What's the MSRP on that?
About 100.
These, it's just under $100.
I found
I'd
it for
get-
80 in one
Oh,
store,
that's
and
good.
I found it for 100 in another.
If you
Yeah,
can pick it
80
up
is your
for
price. 100 is
$80,
about where you expect it.
buy it.
80's great.
90 to
80's great.
110 is what I've generally seen them at. 80 is an
Yeah.
awesome deal.
Yeah, 80's
if
a
you-
great deal.
You know,
No.
I say 100 and less.
I'll take that back. 70.
Oh
Even
my
better.
God.
79.
Not for PX.
Well, if
No,
you
he
say
said
70 or
12
79.
That was the
Oh,
12
He
He
cat.
must have found an
69.99.
an old like price, from like a few years ago, maybe an old
Yeah.
bottle.
Because wow,
And by the way, the
I
12
actually-
cast
I
you
actually
find a
went
red
to the
box.
store and I saw
Those
it.
are so much
And I
better.
said, eh.
mm-hmm.
The PX was like 110, 120 here when I saw
The-
it. So I kind of
the
paused.
last owl is real good too.
Let's do
From
it.
the red breast, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
honestly,
wait.
it's really good. But man, it was like I said, I had the cast strength in my hand, I had this in my hand, and it was like, what do I
$69.99.
want? What do I want? What do I want? And
Oh, dude, Vic, pick that up, man. That's a deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's $69.99 for the cat strength.
No.
It's almost that much for the regular 12. Some places around
Yes.
here.
the regular 12 is $70.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I pay for regular 12 is 70.
70? What?
Yeah, it's going up in some
Yeah,
markets,
see.
man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
How
I
much?
get
Cast
that.
strength 12. Buy it
How much?
because I can't buy
69.
cast strength 12
Fuck yes,
$70
pick that up.
for under $100
all day
anymore.
long.
Hey, Vic,
Yeah,
the liquor lineup,
I think it's
Every
80.
bottle they have.
$139 for the cast strength.
Every bottle they have.
Total
Vic.
Wine has
Every-
it for 100.
Well, but
Mm.
still,
Here.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Buy
red breast
Yeah.
12 is 65, $6.99 locally here. So $4 under 70.
Yeah.
And the cast strength is 102.99, and it's out of stock.
Oh, shit.
Buy.
That's a buy all day long at that
Just
price.
buy.
Yeah.
All of them?
Yes.
Yeah, everything you can get.
Honestly, Vic, buy them all. I bet you'll find people in the community who will be
Mm.
more than happy to give you, shipping plus,
Yeah.
we'll finder's fee
Oh,
for
yeah.
your gas or whatever.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it really it depends on the batch.
I am
2018
not.
and 2019,
Yeah, that's why I was
yes.
asking.
2020, not so much. 2021 was
70s?
better, and I don't know about this year.
But how do you know the batches?
It says on there. It's like an Elijah.
Yeah,
yeah.
It just
There's
has
a
little
circle
code.
on the label. It'll say B whatever underscore
Yeah.
and then the year.
The
something
first
like
the first like 3 batches of the blue box when it came out were kind of not very good from what I've heard. I bought one of them. Like, I mean, when I got one of those red boxes the first time I got one, I was shocked. I mean, it was like one of the best whiskeys I'd ever bought for under $100. And then I got
This store is it's fucking all over the place. Like that I saw and that I knew it was cheap. But they have other shit like fucking Stag 300. Four Roses Elite for 600, some shit.
well, those are
You'll get-
well-known bourbons.
Yeah, you get I think they have a Old Carter Rye in there. They have Magnus for like 600 as well.
By the way, question for you guys: have you guys seen a price hike in the regular Joseph Magnus?
I haven't looked because I just
Triple
don't
cap?
see it out here. Period.
I will let you know
see
when
it.
I
That's
ever
100.
find a Joseph Magnus.
I
So-
can actually get them, but I've never bought one, so I don't know.
So I just saw the Joseph Magnus go up to $150 in a store.
Whoa.
Is that
regular?
the cigar blend?
No.
Cigar blend.
Just the
Regular,
regular.
I'm talking regular.
The regular one? No, the
Yeah,
regular
they're
They're
one
like
out here is
60
$100.
bucks. 100 bucks.
No, they're
$100.
60. They've always been $100. If you
Okay.
you're getting them for
Yeah, it's
60,
$100.
Jesus.
Literally never found it, so I had no clue. So
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
One of the stores I go to have the regular triple cast, and they have, I think, the regular Murray Hill for $100 each.
Yeah, they've always been $100, $110 for some of the small stores, that don't get good prices. Maybe $90 in Ohio where they buy crazy bulk. But one of my big stores that's also the first store to reprice because they sell stuff faster, they just brought it back in at $150, and my jaw dropped up. I was like,
Evening, Paul.
what?
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, brother.
Because I mean, I'll be honest, man. Joseph Magnus is one of those staple bottles that I don't ever want to be without. It's just one of those bourbons that, like, at $100, I always want that on my bar because I really like it. The quality's been going downhill with each batch, but it's still good enough. $150, man, I'm out. Like,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't blame
Sorry.
you. It's just getting
Not for
ridiculous.
the regular, no.
well, I mean, because the regular when I first started drinking it was confirmed to be 12-year MGP finished. Worth that
what?
all day.
Which one?
Oh wow.
The regular Joseph Magnus when it first came out, the triple
Hey,
still
what's
was
up?
12-year
What's up,
MGP.
biatch?
These days,
Isn't
I'm
he
hearing it's
hot
still
calling the kettle black
12
right
years.
there, huh?
You know, it's 12 and some younger MGP.
It's MGP bar and then MGP and bar and I think.
So,
Nancy said.
I've never bought a Starlight. I don't know why. I just never done it. Would you get the double oak, the VDN, or the Bordeaux?
Double oak.
I've never bought a Starlight.
Bill,
I
I
don't know.
tell you, if you can get it for that, buy yourself a
Well,
bottle if you
double
haven't
oak
already.
French oak.
Never
Like
had.
I said,
never
here,
had-
Double oak,
I
huh?
can't
They're
get it
really
for under
intrigued by that
130
VDN.
bucks.
Do that.
It's all
Double
citrus,
oak.
bro.
Yeah,
You know the naranja.
sounds good to me.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. I got to get up in the morning. This was
You
a
do?
great night. Yeah, I do.
Should.
Barely,
That's
what,
why.
9-8? No, I guess you're
But
1 hour
but-
difference.
It's been
That's my time, bro.
it's been a great night.
9:40.
It's been a great night. I appreciate all you guys. It was fun. Bourbon Neophyte.
Cheers,
Good
brother.
night. Cheers,
Yep.
dog.
Cheers, Anthony.
All right.
Cheers,
All right.
Eric.
Cheers, Eric.
Cheers,
Derek,
Always
you have a
fun.
great night.
All right.
So double oak, huh? They also have the
Yeah.
cognac finish.
Is it finished though? Well, obviously, but the double oak I have that's like unbelievable is finished in French oak. My voice is like
Yeah.
wait, sorry.
Let me see.
They have
I
American
think this
oak
one-
and French oak.
Most of them are American oak.
Yeah.
French oak sounds always good to me just because I'm a French oak fan. But
So
They're good.
it's American oak finish in Morneau vanilla toast bourbon barrels.
Yeah, it's usually American. It's probably good. Like Stolly
Might be
doesn't
good.
really put out something that's like terrible. They make some good stuff. But
I just wanted to know like what's like the Starlight, like you should start with that one.
Exactly, James Morgan.
that's
I
a
would
good
assume
one
the
to
double
start with.
oak.
That's not a bad one to start with.
Yeah.
uh,
All right.
how many more you got, Anthony?
So
$65 though. Is that right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
probably.
good.
I was just reading what James says. I don't know. I don't have a problem with mine, and I think I'm the B122.
What batch is yours, Anthony?
What's
Okay.
that?
What batch was yours?
The B122.
Fair
But
enough.
I know people that have the 21 and they're fine with it. But, you know, to each his own.
Shane gave
Well,
me a sample of that.
If you haven't
on
had
the
the,
battle. I don't know what batch it is.
if you haven't had some of the better ones, you may not know what you're missing. You know,
That's true. If you haven't
Yeah.
had it, you haven't had it. You don't know. You
like
don't know.
I may have liked I've got a bottle of the 12 Cask that I just really haven't enjoyed, but maybe it's just because I remember how good the first one was, and I know this isn't. So
Exactly. And once you have that, if you lose that flavor, that taste, it's like, what happened?
yeah, and
But
you
then
know,
again-
Good.
I think it's Red Breast Cask Strength 12. It's got to be this, and it's not. You never know.
All right.
All right.
Australia
Ken, you're
is
back, buddy.
represented in the chat. Cheers, Ken. Morning.
Ken's back at it.
Holy
Damn near forgot
smokes.
to put my free shipping.
Yeah,
You know,
What's up, Henry?
I
Baby?
saved something. I saved something. You know, we are talking about scary good whiskey. However, there is one that's so scary, I would never drink it, even if I had to. It's that bad.
What the fuck story,
And
Sam?
I knew somebody would show up So I figured I had to bring this out, being that it is
Oh, long
Halloween
breath?
Eve,
Come on
and say
now.
this has
All
got to be
right.
the worst, the scariest
all right.
whiskey I have had.
I don't even
I
know.
mean-
This-
And you know, at some point, Anthony, you just got to say F it and drain pour it.
I-
And get your shelf space back.
I'm saving it for hanging.
Is it
He'll be
that
up here one day.
I mean, if Hanging likes it, more power to him.
Oh, believe me, he'll put a straw in this thing and drink it. He's not proud, especially at the price I'm going to give it to him for.
Free.
But I knew he'd be here, so I had to bring this out, and I set it here just for him. This is the worst crap going right here.
Have you had
That
Garrison's
is
full
even
batch? Because let me
better.
tell you,
Whew,
Are you sure about that,
is
Anthony?
for sure.
that's not whiskey, buddy.
I don't know what that crap is.
Keep your Malort away from us.
Man, we
Oh, well,
we
thank
drink
goodness
that
I don't
shit in the
have that.
Midwest. Like it's
Let me get my Malort bottle out.
it's fine. You know, we actually have
Thank
an
goodness
acquired
Yeah,
I don't
taste
take a
for it.
have
chug, Jim. Chug that shit, Jim.
Ugh.
Nah, he hasn't. He doesn't
I
have
know.
that
You
mid.
said it. You said it, bro.
He
Not
doesn't have
now.
that Midwest grit. He doesn't. He doesn't
Wait,
deserve it. Yeah.
If I didn't have the Found North Single Barrel #1 in the glass, maybe.
Oh,
But
no,
I'm not ruining
no.
my palate before I get to
Do
sip
not
this.
ruin your evening with Malort. Not on my stream. You
I'll
want to
do
do it one off stream, you go ahead, but no Malort. You keep that crap where it belongs.
Shit.
I think I would
In
take
the
a shot
bottle.
of Jaeger before I took a shot of Malort.
I've never had
I
Malort,
probably
but I
would
had
too.
Johnny Smoking Gun.
I don't think
Jaeger's not that bad.
I don't think I've had any Jägermeister since like
Durrell
1990,
wants to spin the wheel.
and there's a reason for it. There's
Sounds
a
like
You
reason
need a
why.
Malort.
Real-
You need a Malort section.
Hey, give it a spin. Give it a spin, Darrell. Let's find out where our next whiskeys will be.
Are we doing
The
it?
Jaeger, I don't mind.
I'm making Shane happy, although I just didn't pay any attention to it because I see perfectly. But his old eyes, after driving all night, you know, he probably
Falling
can't
out of
see
his
too
head.
good.
You were just channeling your inner Big Vic. It's okay.
That's it. That's it.
What?
Shane just doesn't
This
see
is
it.
all dark. He had his
Oh.
light was a little dark.
No.
hmm
No.
I wasn't having a problem,
Malort Fest?
but
Oh yeah, Shane's house.
That's
But-
the case. I might have to cancel my reservation.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Malort's not terrible.
what?
It
Is
tastes
it worse?
like pickles. Like have you ever taken a pickle
So you
shot?
say it tastes like pickles. Other people say it tastes like grapefruit. I don't.
I haven't gotten
Pickle-
pickle. All I get from Malort is the most
like
sour,
okay,
metallic
grapefruity
grapefruit
pickles.
you've ever
Grapefruity
tasted,
pickles. I
and
could see
grass
that.
clippings.
I don't see grass clippings. at all.
Grass
I don't know
clippings.
why anybody want to taste that combination. Period.
Well,
Johnny Smoking Gun was
I
like
don't
rotten
understand why
fish.
people-
So that sounds wonderful
Well-
compared to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
the thing you have to realize with Malort is that it's still not great if you shoot it, but it's a lot better if you shoot it than if you sip it. If you sip it, it's miserable.
But
if you
no,
shoot
don't
it,
sip
it's
that
if
shit.
you know the glass has shit in it, why do you even want to shoot it?
Here's the thing. Like,
Okay.
Okay, so it's a Chicago thing, right?
yeah,
I
it's a
don't give
Midwest
a
thing.
shit.
Yeah.
They
It, like
keep it in Chicago.
imagine you're eating like sausages.
Keep that shit in Chicago.
fucking all your life. Like, yeah, like you need something to cut that fatty sausage.
Pickles,
Malort's gonna
what do
do
you
it.
think?
Like you're not gonna be.
Look,
Into one is
look.
right.
I haven't had any in a long time, but I would rather drink a damn Budweiser than chase
Oh, well,
anything
yeah.
with Malort.
I like
Now,
the fact
think-
that I heard you say that. As Bugweiser.
Ugh.
Not Bud.
Budweiser.
Bugweiser.
Now, the thing too is with the Johnny Smoking Gun, that was created
I hate it, man.
expressly to have an umami profile to be paired with like Japanese dishes that have an umami profile. So that's why you're getting that fishy thing. It's intentional. It
Yeah,
doesn't
well.
mean it's good, but it's
Stuff
intentional.
to make it good.
You guys are funny,
Mhm.
funny people.
So now
With the black square.
to make a few other people happy here in chat, there are a few scotches I have just got to pull out because
Woohoo!
you know you cannot have whiskey and not talk about Scotch. So, that being said, there's quite a few really good Scotches, quite a few that I have.
Hanging.
But one of the first ones I really, really liked, to which I don't know too many people that don't drink Scotch that just do not like the quintessential
Hell yes.
Lagavulin 16-year-old.
Absolutely, man. You just
This is it. I mean,
Nope.
Ken probably wants to run over and pour himself a glass right now, but it's just a little too early. But
I like.
I'm just saying, this
Hanging, yeah.
is
If
a
Hanging
great
keeps
Scotch.
that up,
I
he's
love
not going to
Durrell.
get
I
that.
love Durrell.
That's the
If-
long bridge.
don't
If
put
this
a
thing
past Ken
is
to pour a glass of Lagavulin right now.
Lagavulin and fresh
I'm-
baked brownies
I
are
could.
by far the best. It's like the best combo.
The only
Oh
thing
my
I
God.
wish they would do is bump this up to 46.
Mm.
And this would be tremendous. It's great the way it is, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But just 3 more points at 46, I think that, wow.
And don't color it, but hey.
Yeah, exactly. But
They're
it
good liquor,
is
yeah.
what it is. This is still really good. However, here now, the price is getting close to a C note for a bottle.
It's a C note
Oh
here.
shit! It's way over
Yep.
here. That
Yeah.
it's 120.
I was
here.
buying it for $69.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's actually gone down $35 here locally after the tariffs ended.
Well,
They haven't. I
Was
have
buying
greedy
it,
store
and
owners.
what
They're
it
never
is
gonna
going
fucking
for
take
now are
that
two different
cut.
things.
They're gonna just be like, nope, that's the price.
and
No.
going down a little bit,
That's why I buy online.
going
a lot.
down a little bit, you cannot turn down the Lion's Fire in Lagavulin. This is the 2021 limited release. This thing is really a great sipper in a Scotch, but you got to like your peat and you got to like a little heat with it. But this thing is amazing. I can tell you right now, if Sugar Kitty was here, he'd be saying yes, yes, yes. And of course,
Okay.
I knew Ken would pop in there, and I could see it right now. He's
I've
like,
been through 2 bottles already. And
Wow.
But
I bought a lot.
unfortunately anymore, I can't find it here. And then the one I did find, they went over $200 for this now. So they can keep it at that price.
Yeah.
I might actually buy one at 200. It's that good.
I'm not that. I like it. It's not 200 good. If it was still around the 150, maybe 160, I'd pull the trigger. When I bought this, I paid 129.
150 was retail here, and I think 200 is the max on that one for me. But I think
Well,
it's
like I
actually
said, if I
$200
find
bottle.
that thing for 150 to 160, I'd probably buy it. So now I have a backup.
Yeah, here's what's going to happen, Anthony. Is you're going to try a different batch of Log 12. It's not going to be close to as good, and you're going to come
True.
back and go, you know what? 200 probably was worth it, and now I can't get it for
Well,
less than 250.
yeah, we've all said that at least twice, I'm sure. And that's about the going price here, Mike, on that. $100 is what we were just saying for that. And I was paying 69, 79. It just depends on what it was. But
Yeah, Lag 16's for me become one of those bottles that I have, but I don't drink it very often because it's expensive and I don't want to buy it again.
there's no doubt in my mind, Hanging, you drink some Long Branch right now. There is no doubt in my mind. That's why I pulled that bottle out. I said, I got to pull that out for you. So that's why I even had it on the floor where it belongs. That's for sure. But the next one that I like, that I had yet, not even sold this one out because I know some people have a different feeling, but this is the Offerman in the 11, the Lagavulin Offerman.
Is that the regular or the Guinness?
That's the Guinness version.
This is the Guinness. Yeah.
Okay.
I bought a backup of this the same day I bought this thing because I came home. I poured about 3 glasses of it, and I said to the wife, drive me back over there. I got to get that last bottle before it's gone because there was no way I was letting that thing get out of my site, and I picked it up for $84 a bottle. And that was before it was named 2021 Whiskey of the Year. So, lucked out
Y'all
there.
are fucking with me in private chat. Thanks a
Lucked
lot,
out
guys.
there.
No. I send you the right zip code.
But I love that bottle.
Yeah, Anthony,
I
you and
love
what's her? Four Leaf.
Stacy's husband. Yeah.
Stacy.
Yeah, Stacy's husband absolutely just.
Oh, I think he's probably on his 5th bottle.
Oh, I think it's. I think
It could be north of that, but
he absolutely
I
just
dropped off
super fan.
I dropped off a sample of this year's one, the charred oak. I dropped off a sample to him up there. I forgot to ask Stacy today what he thought of it.
Yeah, I've got a sample of that coming my way because I'm a little skeptical. I like the offer, man.
I know you heard me and what I had to say, but I think you'll agree. It's the Lagavulin profile. My opinion only, and my opinion's already out there, so I'm going to say it. Too much barrel char. The tannins ruin it.
So the new
Jim go move the truck or what?
What's that?
I said Jim went to move the rig or what?
Well, last week he just
Yeah,
said
right.
he'll be back, and he never came back. But
To get some acid reflux.
So the new master distiller has produced about 4 or 5 bottles since he's taken over. The fish
I'm
yield
still here.
was
we know you are.
Oh damn. Okay.
very, very, very polarizing and not particularly liked because he used virgin oak. The new 12, he used virgin oak, and it's getting low scores relative to other 12s. First time they've ever done virgin oak in a 12.
He was Dram Divided.
He did a couple of Jazz Fest that came out. Where I'm hearing one of them is actually supposed to be good. The others, I'm not hearing good stuff.
Oh, look at this. Good morning, sir. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, buddy. What's
Really?
What's going
Good
on,
to
man?
see you.
And then this new this charred Offerman is that same profile. He has been very consistent in this oaky charred profile that Lagavulin's never been famous for. So it's interesting to see.
I do know a few people that are gaga over it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I can drink it. It's like, why, in my opinion? Why
Yeah,
did
so
you do
I'm
that?
wondering if maybe, new head distiller, they just said, hey, look, we got a bunch of this charred oak and virgin oak stuff. We got to get rid of it. You're gonna just take it, and you have to put out bad stuff. Or if he just has a profile that's so drastically different, and we're gonna see a new Lagavulin going forward, and I'm not excited about that.
I'm not either. I don't know why they went down that road, but I mean, hey, they got to try things. I got it. And especially if you have something that's not, I believe it's not quite what they thought it would be, but you got to run with it and see what happens.
You want to hear something terrifying, by the way, Anthony? I saw Lagavulin 8th yesterday.
At the bear.
For $95.
Good night, biatch.
Next to that Lagavulin 9 for
Good night, old man.
1 or something.
Senior.
And by the way, the old master distiller, when he was asked about a year before that Lagavulin 8 came out, he goes, Lagavulin 12 is a young Lagavulin. He goes, that's why we look for that profile. He goes, I don't think Lagavulin's really ready until 16. And then the next year they put out.
Point. I mean, it is a good point. That Lion's Fire, though, is definitely a hitter for a 12-year-old. But I think
but the thing is, he said, the 12, we have to look for a certain profile to make it work. And you know what Lagavulin 12 was? Young Lagavulin done amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you.
When you think 12 is young and you put out an 8,
I gotta answer Frederick's question and say, yes, if you can find this Limavady up there where you are, go ahead and get that. This was a really good bottle. I already have the backup. It's on the shelf behind me, but really good. And then, of course, you probably already know about the Redbreast PX Sherry.
Delicious.
We just talked about this before you came on. This is definitely something that's definitely something worth adding to your bar, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now, it's not. It seems like I got a lot of peated Scotch, and I do. However, I do have some that's not peated, and I really, really like it a lot. And one of them in particular
Belvini.
is the Belvini 15 in the sherry.
We had some of that.
This thing is amazing.
I like the Caribbean cast.
It's just great at 47.8 ABV. That's the sweet spot. I'm really happy with this.
That one is not double cast, right? The ex bourbon and all that. It's only sherry.
It's single cast, first maturation sherry.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's pretty good talk out there that if yours is fairly dark, it's probably over 20 years old.
But
even though it only says 15, it's actually substantially older.
This really right out of the bottle, I mean, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And this is mine.
Look at that
dark
color.
son bitch.
That mo. You can't even see Anthony.
And
through
I've
that
got
shit.
it right next to the light. So it's lit up. And
Yeah,
that's why
never buy those online. Always go in person and make sure it's dark, because there are some like really light colored ones out there that I've heard not as good. But yeah, dude, Anthony, you are freaking.
I'm holding it right to the light, so this is like
dead on.
Yeah, this thing is.
Those are incredible. The prices are going up on those a lot, and they're still worth it at $150.
I was just gonna say here, I think it's going
$150.
for $150, and this one, I'm trying to remember. I think I got it for like $116.
I bought like 6 of them about a year and a half ago for $80 because I found a deal.
Wow,
that's a steal.
You know the best part of that was I bought the 6 of them so I could buy a can in Kentucky. I had to spend $900 at the store to get a can in Kentucky, and 6 of those were part of that deal.
I have to reach for one because we're talking a lot about peated Scotch or whatever. It's not intentional. It's just it's just how it is.
It's what you like.
I have to get it. You already know which one it is.
I do.
It's my 14 Belvini, the Peak Week.
Oh wait, no.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
2003 is so good.
2003 vintage. Yep.
If you haven't seen,
was an accident. I found it on the shelf.
That's one of my. I bought 6 of those at least too. That's such a good bottle.
And
I also drank 5 of them.
48.3 ABV. And they only people that know that don't know, or people that do know, they only do this for 1 week out of the year. The rest of that they're non-peated. And this, if I could find another one of these, I don't care if it is $150. My hand would reach out like a cobra striking, and I'd grab that sucker, throw the money down, and run out the door before they had a chance to say anything.
I think they're going 200.
I'm sure they are, but this. Yeah, and now it's called Week of Peat. So this is an older version.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that I just lucked out on. As a matter of fact, my wife pointed it out, and I'm like, that's not the one I want. Long and short of it is when I bought it anyway, and Dustin's the one that said, turn that bottle to the side, because he saw the 2003 vintage, and he goes, do you know what you have? I go, yeah, I do now. I didn't at the time, but I do now. but you never know. You have to go out there and look at it. But this is another really good pour, and I love the proof. The 48 on this, the 48 ABV, really.
Yeah, mind you, the new
really
ones are
makes
still
a
really
difference.
good. So don't pass on the new ones if you can't get the.
No, I just
2003
haven't
ones.
found the newer ones. Now Ken has some.
Now there's
he's
a
got the newer
17
ones.
and a 19-year-old now out there. They're non-US. The 17 is a pretty reasonable price. The 19 is not.
So
I'll be picking up a 17 at some point. I'm not sure I'm going to pay for the 19. It's really expensive.
the other one that surprised me was the first one I owned. I've tasted a few, but the other one I really fell for was the Bunnahabhain 12, just a straight 12-year Bunnahabhain. Matter of fact, I gave T-Rob a taste of this when I stopped over there. I dropped off some for him, and I also dropped off a sample of the Blue Run I have because he has the spring and I have the summer batch. So he wanted to taste to see if there is a difference. And I forgot to ask him tonight, but I know, he's got it. And he gave me some of his batch and a sample of the Gold Spot. So I've got to do a sample weekend where I sit down and just do samples here on the stream. But I'm telling you what, I paid $48 just about out the door for this.
Oh, it's a great deal.
I know. I wish I could have got two, but they only had this
Talking
one
about
left.
samples.
Nice.
This
FYI, Anthony, the 12 cast strength just showed up in the UK again. You can pick one of those up for about 80 shipped to your door.
that is a
nice.
steal. Look, speak, and here it comes up. Bam, Bill already just is on it. Buna 12 is out, 80 USD. Yep.
I've not seen it in the States at all, and we didn't get it at all where I live last year, so you may not see it.
But yeah, this thing is terrific. Terrific. I mean, it's one of those things that I can sit here and just sip on this and share. I'd share this with anybody that's in chat on the stream. I mean, I have no problem setting this down on the table. Boom, in here, drink this.
For anybody in the private chat, I just posted a link. It's a little more than I thought. It'll be just under 100 shipped, but
Still good.
And then mind you, if you get it for 80, you got to pay sales tax. This is no sales tax, so if you're interested, I'd pick it up, guys. It's not going to be around too much longer.
No, it's still like I said, at that price, it's still good. It's still a great bottle. Period. I mean, you won't be disappointed. But it just depends on your palate. Now, because I talked a lot about peat, and I'm going to get back into it a little more, but a little more subdued from the Lagavulin, and even the Bunnahabhain has peat, but
I'll be right back.
It's way down compared to what we were talking about. The other one that I really like, and I did a review of this, is the Oban 12, the Twin Fox, is another real good Scotch that has some smoke to it. It's not overpowering or overbearing, but this is another special release 2021. The 2022s are popping out now. I'm starting to see them. I didn't see if Oban did anything this year or not.
We've got a 10-year-old cast strength Oban this year.
It's a 10? Okay. But this is another good drop. Was very happy to get when I got it. Good ABV at 56.2. This was a really good sipper too. I mean, good flavor, complexity, viscosity to it. I like the little bit of the heat that it has on it. The maltiness is fantastic on this thing. Fantastic. I never regretted buying either the Lagavulin in the limited release or this one at all. Not
Did you pay for
regretted.
that
The only thing I regret is not buying 2 of them.
What'd you pay for it?
This 120, 124.
Some just showed up here for around that price.
On the 12?
Yeah.
2021?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And the 2021 12 Lagavulin, which I bought a few of.
You cannot go wrong with those. I just think that it is a good buy, but they are really good whiskeys if you're into Scotch and you like if you like some smoke. This isn't, like I said, it's not Lagavulin smoke or peat.
I've got a sample over there. I need to get into it.
It's just one of those that you'd have to try if you don't know what's what, but you have to try them. Cheers, Mark. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Oh, let me get my microphone.
What's up, Mark?
I suck.
Take your time. We know you're new. It's all right, brother. It's okay.
All right, how y'all doing?
We're perfect. You're here now.
How you flatter me. Hey, I'm just having a sampling bottle party over here, printing off a bunch of labels.
Oh, yeah.
Put on a bunch of samples. So I figured I'd jump on and say hi while I'm trying to get these labels on here.
Actually, it's funny you should pop on because I just put something of yours away that I had to use. I'll hold it up.
Oh, yes.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. Nice. I had to use it in a bottle.
Your cork break?
It just doesn't fit. It's like it doesn't even belong in there, but that's the one it came with. It just, for lack of a better term, it just shrunk. Shrunk to high heaven. No rhyme, no reason.
But well, I'm glad that you can put it to good use.
Well, yeah. I actually like things like this. And so when you sent it to me, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to need this at some point. A couple of weeks ago, I'm like, what did I do with that? Here it was, right where I thought I put it in the drawer.
Yeah, and you got the first edition.
Yeah.
The ones now have the new logo on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got the first edition run.
That's right. I got an original, baby.
Oh,
but it came in handy. And I do save a few corks because they come in handy because I've had to use other corks from other bottles because either the cork broke or, again, for some reason, they just shrink and they no longer fit the bottle.
That's crazy.
Whereas we all bullet corks that never fit from day one.
I've had a few craft distillery corks break on me, which isn't exactly, bad electrician shocking. But I had an Eagle Rare cork break on me, which I was surprised because I'd never had anything from Buffalo Trace get a cork broken.
100% of all corks will eventually break. There's no good cork.
True story.
Mm-hmm. I
just had a Knob Creek one.
That broke. My Parker's Heritage rye, that broke.
Oh, shit.
Every single old Talisker 25 cast strength I've ever seen, the cork broke. Those are $1,000 bottles.
Goodness
ridiculous.
Cork's
I'd be upset.
Yeah.
Thing is, it's a cork. You know it's going to break. It's a terrible method. They need to use screw tops. So that's a solution. Screw tops.
Screw tops.
Hey, I'm not a purist.
All whiskey.
You can use a synthetic one. I'm good with it. But so I'm going to go back down the peat aisle here a little more, and
what's up,
Daryl? I think it's everybody's favorite. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't really like it, especially if you've tried it. Everybody talks about the Port Charlotte 10.
Ugh,
but I will drink this thing like no, it's just.
All right, Darrell, we're gonna take you out back, and we're gonna learn you something.
Hey, I'm there. I'm there with Darrell. I'm not.
I will drink this thing day in and day out.
It will not.
I mean, if you don't like peat at all, but I mean,
freezing pour.
So Darrell, you don't like any peat?
No.
Okay.
Well, hey, I'm with you, Darrell. I haven't had a peat that I like yet.
Close.
That's because you haven't had the right tasting.
No,
and that's what I think.
Eric was the same way.
Lot 40.
Eric was the same way. He couldn't stand it. He talked how bad it was, and he was it last week or week before? I think it was 2 weeks ago. He was on my stream and he poured his Lafroig 10 and told me, I'm just drinking it to get rid of it because I hate it. And so I talked to him about it and I coached him through it. And today on Livewire, he actually said that I brought him into the light and he appreciated it. And it's a Lafroig. Now, this is not something that's not lightly peated. I mean, this is peat in its fullest form. If you can drink a Lafroig 10, you're pretty darn good. He loves it now. So you just haven't had the right experience and taken down the road in the correct way. He shook his head just like Darrell's shaking his head. You know what? My first experience in 30 years with you, and I wanted to drag my tongue across the tile floor in the liquor store rather than have to drink it again.
All right.
However,
I've got a feeling Darrell's had a little more experience with the peat than Eric had.
Yeah, maybe.
His aversion might be a little larger. But here's the thing. So, Darrell, have you had Highland Park?
Yes.
Do you like Highland Park at all?
No.
What have you had from them?
12.
What is it, brother? Only one bottle. I'm not sure what it was.
That's probably Highland Park 12. That's what everybody gives everybody when they're just trying.
Darrell's in a different class of samples that he gets.
No. It wasn't.
He drank a Balvenie 1401. He gets nicer stuff sent his way.
All right. Well, hey guys, I gotta head out.
Cheers, Scott.
Later, bitch.
all right, Scott.
All right, cheers, Scott.
Cheers, brother. Have a good evening.
How about Springbank? Darrell, have you had any Springbank?
No.
Oh, look at slap shot.
I've never had Springbank.
What?
Okay.
Is he bringing out his powers?
He put out his powers.
I thought we weren't supposed to call it by name.
Well, you can say powers. You can't say the rest of the name.
I didn't say
Gotcha. Yeah. Then that's it.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I saw the top of that bottle. There you go. That's the 12 year.
You can't show the word that starts with J. And
Gotcha.
We don't allow that here. We're trying to make sure no one knows that's a good whiskey, because once people find out about how good that is, it's a problem.
Yeah, a buddy just gave me that to try it.
Well,
yeah, Darrell, we need to work. We can work on you on the whole peated thing.
No.
Trust me. We can work on you.
We can work on it
in a softer, more gentle way than you probably experienced.
That's right.
He gave me this one also.
Is that the double?
Yeah.
And is that finished?
Scotch.
It's super peaty. It is like
No,
the
I
most
haven't.
peaty I've ever had.
It is.
That's
well,
making.
okay.
What do you think about the peated bourbon type stuff that's come out? Like
I've,
the backsetter, terrible.
I've got this one from Dry Fly. They made some bourbon and then they finished it in a peated Scotch barrel.
Yeah. I'll be honest. When ADHD Whiskey liked one of the backsetters, my jaw dropped because I couldn't believe, because I struggled to like the backsetters, and I'm a Scotch guy who likes peat, and I'm like,
yeah.
But I just wanted to find out if maybe there were some other exceptions like yourself. So okay, that makes more sense.
Well, that one that you have, Mark, from High West, I have it, and I have it in two different expressions. One from Total Wine, and one from another place here in Vegas from Corey.
Yeah, this is a Total Wine pick, barrel type peated Scotch,
and I think they're great. As a matter of fact, I let somebody do a blind with one last week at Liquor Lineup, and had her drink the Rendezvous first. And I told her, I said, now this is going to be different. I'm not going to tell you why, because I want you to keep an open mind, but it's finished. And so she had it, and she says, wow. She says, that's different and very interesting. And she goes, that's really not bad. She says, I like that smokiness. I said, well, that's peat. And I said, it's finished in a peated Scotch barrel. So it's the nothing's none of the mash bill was peated. It's just how the rest of the whiskey was aged a few months. So they took it out of the original barrel and put it in there. So I said, it imparted that peat in there. I said, but it is one of the more peatier bourbons, and in this case, a rye, that I have had. But that turned me back to peated Scotch after my Ardbeg, the pirate experience, that I just wanted to just like cut my tongue off rather than have to have anything to do with that.
I whacked some samples, Darrell. I'm going to give him a couple to send your way.
No.
This one says it was finished for 11
Don't
months.
waste your peat.
No.
Vegas art.
Vegas art.
These will be things more unlike anything you've had before.
Okay.
It was hard for me not to bring this one up because there's just so many. This is the Carchus, the warehouse one you're talking about. I find it delicious. And once it has just a little more time to open up, I think this will move into the realm of the scary good whiskey I'm talking about.
No. Did you have the PX, Anthony?
I do not. I can't never find the PX. But the one that Vegas Art's talking about, it is good. But like I said, I'm giving it a little more time in the bottle to really open up.
I wish I had an extra PX, man. I would send you the bottle, man. Like it's so good. I would want to just send you the bottle, but I don't have an extra PX.
Well, they're hard to find, but I'm just saying he's right. I think this is good, and especially the last one. I love the brine that.
No, that's a good one, man.
It's not overbearing. It's not overpowering. I think it complements the whiskey. I think the peat enhances the sweetness, and that sweet saltiness that you get is fabulous. I just wanted to open up a little bit more and give a shot. I haven't had it in probably 3 weeks. I had it, I think, a week after I did my review on it, and I was very happy with it. I just haven't touched it because I'm really giving it some time to open up, and I've got it past the shoulder because I've also let other people try some. I hand delivered a few samples to it, so I've got it. I'm more than half done. Sorry. So it's opened up. It's got it. I know where there's another bottle. If it opens up nicely, I have no problem in dropping a bill on this thing and picking up another one. So I'm really looking forward.
I would go ahead and buy that now because carts do not last.
Oh no, I know. I agree. I mean, but
literally, I would buy now. Otherwise, they won't be gone. Last year's cartridge, I thought it was going to be around a while, and it was just disappeared all of a sudden that one day. I was like, where'd it go?
But yeah, it's like I said, it's good. I tell people, well, at this point, I would tell you don't buy it. Go ahead and buy it. I got my fingers crossed that it's really gonna. I don't want to say gain some, but I think it's going to do well with some time in the bottle. But anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed my bottle for sure.
That's the only reason why I didn't grab that and pull it up there yet is because I haven't quite made that decision to it. Now, the other one that I really like, it's the same family, but it's the Isla Barley 2011. And I really like this. And still living in the woods, hand delivered this via Whiskey Wars.
Oh, nice.
And this is one that has went from one coast to the other coast because one didn't like it, sent it to one, didn't like it. I got it and love it. But this is one that for some reason the cork just doesn't fit anymore. I mean, it just, it's just enough that, it's all right. And I only have about that much left in the bottle, but That's why I keep it in the tin and I keep it closed. But oh my gosh, this 2011 Isla Barley is really, really good.
Nice.
Did you ever have the No Name 3, Anthony?
No.
Hey, Big Vic, we were talking last week about doing a like a sample swap and doing like a battle together.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, when we do that, I'll send you one of those toppers.
Cool, bro.
Yes, Anthony.
Appreciate that.
I just sent you a link to the private chat to the No Name 3, and it's a pretty good, reasonable price.
All right, you got to finish one. Darrell, you can look forward to getting one of these.
The bulk of that whiskey is 15-year-old Lafroig, and it's
Jack
What were you
Daniel's
holding up
good
there,
as you
Mark?
think.
Oh, gotcha.
Jack, yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, bro.
Is that
We
the
got my
single
little
barrel?
label on there.
barrel
So,
proof?
hey, shameless plug on Veterans Day. All the veterans that are a part of our community, gonna get them all together. I'm sending them all samples. That's why I'm doing this right now. And so I'm gonna send this out and hand deliver it to all of them. So Darrell, you can expect that one right there sometime early next week. That way on Veterans Day, when we all get together, we can share a drink together and hang out for a bit.
Nice.
Nice.
Super cool, man.
Mm-hmm. But now that I'm talking about all this Scotch, I guess I got to have some now because it's just I cannot not.
Yeah, and Anthony, I'll even put a guarantee if the No Name 3 doesn't blow your mind, send me the bottle and I'll pay you full price after you. Not even kidding. It's legit one of the best bottles of whiskey I've bought in the last couple of years for the price. But if you like Lafroig notes at all, it's a no-brainer.
I might as well pour this Isla Barley here since it's the lowest on the whole thing, and give me a reason to just smell this thing again. Oh,
What is it?
God, that's sweet, just delicious. Oh, here's my other one. Let me set this.
Yeah, Darrell, that's not one I would send you.
What was it though?
You couldn't stand this one, Darrell.
Well, no. Oh, so I was talking about the Compass Box, No Name 3.
Well,
that uses a healthy amount of Lafroig.
I'm going to tell you right now, I had one arm's length away, but it was already taken because I saw it sitting on the counter today. I recognized the box, and I said to my man, reach over there and grab that. And he goes, I can't. I'm going to somebody else. I said, what? He goes, yes. He goes, we got a case, and it just boom, boom, boom. And he's a regular, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at him and I go, I am too. And I'm in that elite status. I said, he goes, yep. He says, I know. He says, so is he. And I just shook my head. I go, I thought that's what it was. Like I could see it as I was walking up there. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I even said to my wife, God, that's the actual first box I saw. I mean, I couldn't actually reach out and grab it because it was behind the counter, but I was like, holy smokes.
Well, I just sent you one, man. It's €138. Once they knock that off, it's going to be like 110. Then you'll pay enough in shipping to where it kind of gets back to what U.S. prices are. Very fair price.
But oh my gosh,
it will take 4 weeks to get to your door though, because it is going from it's going from an island in the middle of the Mediterranean to your door.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, don't ever share that website to anybody else, guys.
But
also, if you're looking at it, check the Jack Daniel's stuff.
Wow,
you might find some cool dusties.
Dude, I saw online earlier. You know the Jack Daniel's, the Hero Select.
I do.
There was a website I saw today selling them for $250 a piece.
I didn't pay that.
Nope.
You don't pay that at the BX, that's for sure.
No, it was $60 out the door. I was like, how the heck are they selling it for $250? I mean, I know everybody can't get on a military base, so it is kind of exclusive. But holy crap, that is a markup. You can't.
I never saw any of them at Nellis.
Oh, really? I just got a new edition yesterday, a new barrel.
Well, I know there's other ones out.
Right. So I'm gonna do one of those fear of missing out videos. First one I bought a couple of them because I thought it was going to be the only one. I didn't know there was going to be multiple editions put out.
Me either. I thought there was only going to be one, but then after I got the one that you dropped off, I found out there was some more. And I think Tipsy just did a FOMO video, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, when you mentioned that, it's I was like, why do I know that? Who just did one of those?
Right.
I just saw it.
Because the average drinker did it, and then somebody else did it, then Tipsy did it. But yeah, now I have five different barrels from the Hero Select.
But man, I'm telling you what, that this Isle of
All
Barley
right,
is wonderful.
I'm out.
You
had enough, Vic?
Yeah, I actually now have a job, so now I got to go to work tomorrow.
All right, man.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
We'll see you
Night,
later.
brother.
Cheers.
Jim, are you still with us, or are you counting your cracks in your eyelid?
I think he's here.
Last week he put his "we'll be back," but we knew better, so I just left it sit there for an hour.
And he never came back.
No,
Nope.
he never came back.
Yeah, if anybody's gone for more than like 10 minutes with their screen off, it's probably worth just kind of putting in the back. And if they come back,
he was talking. He
Add 'em
was
back in.
talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm here, but I think I'm going to call it a night.
You are.
You sound like it.
I'm in the
Yep.
same boat. I got an early day.
Yeah, me too. I got to wake up at 4:30, but I'm trying to get these labeled first.
Sorry, guys. But
See, look,
I'll
Jim's
catch
still
y'all.
there.
4:30 is
Cheers,
like
bro.
3 hours
Awesome
for me.
talking to you, buddy.
I'll catch y'all.
Jim's
Jim.
still there.
Hey, buddy. Cheers.
Good night, guys.
All right. Cheers,
All right,
man.
good night, Neuro.
I every now and then you'll see his symbol light up. I think it's in between gasps when he's snoring.
Night.
I knew that would get him to say something.
Yeah.
Night, Jim.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I love just nosing this freaking peated Scotch. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sipping on Lefroy 10 cast drink, the new batch that I got for $50. I'm gonna go buy some more of these because Jesus Christ, this is just
For that money. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, this particular batch, last batch I got was not an easy drinking whiskey. It was kind of a little too aggressive, a little bit. It was fine. It was good, and once it opened up, it was great. But this one's just an easy drinker. Like this is like a sit and sip cast strength Lefroy 10. And in fact, I'm actually right now looking to see if I can get more of this stuff.
This one to me, I just, at 50 ABV, it is just at the spot for this particular one. Oh, yeah?
Oh, I'm loving this one. It's
Wow.
briny. It reminds me of going to the beach and getting a sea spray.
That does sound good.
And this is sold out almost everywhere in town already.
Oh, yeah.
But the
Well,
closest
especially
store,
at that price.
the closest store to me that I bought these at still has it, so I'm gonna go there tomorrow and just whatever they got left, I'm buying it. I mean, as somebody pointed out, he goes, "Man, if you put that on your credit card and pay interest for the next 3 years, it'll still cost you less than buying it at retail anywhere else." You're like, dude, you're literally getting it for less than half what it costs.
Oh my gosh.
11. Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't buy a lot of Lefroy 10 cask strength. I've never been a Lefroy fan until Mike got me into the 25-year-old, which is just like a whole other. It's a whole other animal. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Looks like Mark's got a couple of hand deliveries lined up there.
A couple hand
ready to go.
deliveries. Yeah, I got 36 sample bottles here. Putting in that work.
Hey, most of my sample bottles actually were literally hand delivered.
Yeah,
I mean,
I stumbled upon this thing.
I'll say
Kentucky Oak.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
It's by the DC rugby team. Picked it cash finish.
Oh, cool.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, it's like it tastes like the beach.
It's the Old Glory logo on there.
Yep.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, this batch 15 is it's young whiskey, and it's overtly young whiskey, but it's done in a very, very good way, where you get a lot of nuance and complexity, a lot of variety. I mean, it's not a simple whiskey in your mouth. It's also kind of youthful. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice entry level whiskey from Oban.
I love mine. I think it's
this
a good.
This is one of the ones my buddy gave me to try out.
Yeah, think of that as like Rebel Yell, 100 proof. I mean, it's that level in terms of like Scotch to bourbon.
Right.
So it's well done quality, like Rebel Yell 100 is, but don't think of it as like it's the very entry level.
Okay.
But a good one.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you were talking about heavily peated stuff earlier.
Uh-huh.
All right. So when I was just like engulfed in bourbon and did not like Rise at all, I found that Rittenhouse, the Sagamore Double Oaked, like these guys are really good for getting a bourbon drinker into Rise, like kind of introducing them into the profile soft.
Rittenhouse is good,
right? And so
the Sagamore Double Oak is really good,
right? So someone who's just a bourbon or American whiskey drinker that doesn't really dig Rise, you can get them into Rise by this being their introduction.
Reasonable for sure.
Okay, so in the land of peat, what are those people that don't like peat? How do you introduce them to it?
Highland Park, Bunnahabhain, the Oban that you got right there that has a little bit of smoke to it.
Right, there is a little smokiness to this.
And that's kind of the gateway. That starts that can move you forward to that.
It's all about the level of drinker, what they like. Like, so for example, with Darrell, we were talking to earlier. Darrell's a guy who drinks $1,000 bottles of whiskey on a regular. So for him to get in, I would probably want to go with something a little more fancy. If you enjoy Rittenhouse 101, I don't have to go fancy. I think the Oban you've got is a good choice. But also I got to know why you don't like smoke or why you don't like peat. Because I got to play to you what your system is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, I got to bring whiskeys for
experience.
No, this level of peat has a smokiness like a barbecue. Like it tastes good, but when I hit this extra peat, it just tastes wrong. Like
that's also possibly because that whiskey, the peat on it is just wrong because it wasn't done well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not to
I
be
didn't have
rude
a
to.
problem with it because I have it and I drink it. But
But aren't those
Dustin's
single
point-
casks, Anthony?
What's that?
Aren't those single casks? What do you pulled up?
Yeah, it's a single barrel.
Yes. Yeah. I was just thinking. I
Like,
think it is. I have
you
to
could
go
just
look.
have a single barrel that's just. I mean, again, it's not well aged.
No.
It's aged in it's using a cask to cause the influence of peat, not
Right.
peat itself.
Right.
It's also, I think, isn't that base? It's a rye base, right? And so now
Yes.
you've got rye and peat. I mean, you're just all over the freaking map. Like, don't compare that to a Scotch.
Yeah, it's all
where
over.
it's just a different profile. I mean, I always say jump right in. Get yourself an Ardbeg 10. Sample if you can, so you don't buy a ton, so you don't have to put money down. I mean, mind you, you've got enough whiskey where apparently a $50 bottle of whiskey is not going to break your bank. I'm pretty confident you're not struggling.
Right.
But get an Ardbeg 10. If you can get a smaller bottle or something, that's great.
Yeah, at the on base, I see Lafroig and Ardbeg, and them. I see them every day.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, Anthony, what are your thoughts? I mean, you go straight to Lafroig. I always say avoid Lafroig early, but what are your thoughts?
I don't have a problem with it, or I didn't have a problem with it. I would have in the beginning.
I mean, truth be told, it used to be I'd tell everybody just get Lagavulin 16 first, but the problem is Lagavulin 16's gotten kind of pricey. Like when I got into Lagavulin 16, it was like $60, and I was like, it was a crazy expensive bottle to me, but it was $40 for Ardbeg 10. So looking back, that wasn't a big difference.
Vegas Art has a point, and I forgot about Peat Monster, and I actually looked at it today and thought, God, I need to pick one of those up because I think they're good for a blended Scotch.
Well, that's easy to remember. Peat Monster.
Yeah, that's a Compass Box is who makes it.
I don't like the new
I think it'd
blended
be all
bottle.
right because it's going to give them something to peat, and it's going to give him that sweet on there that is, I think he'll like. And for the money, pick them up for about $69.
Are they that expensive?
Yeah, Peat Monster. Yeah, I'm going to say about $69.
Wow. My problem is I tried the new Peat Monster, and it's how we talked about earlier.
Was it the Spaniard or something?
No, it's just the Spaniards. That sounds like a $69 bottle. And that's no peat. And that's not got that little bit
That's
of sherry.
a Compass Box.
Yeah.
It just came out
a couple years ago.
I thought it was this year or last year. This year, last year.
No, Orchard House is the newest one.
Okay.
But that no peat there either. But no. So what happened was Peat Monster. They changed the label, and when they did that, they changed the blend, and they cheapened it way up, in my opinion. Now that said, maybe it's still good for an entry level.
I have not had it in about 2 years.
Then you didn't have you probably had the old one. The new one changed a bit. It's not a bad call. But the thing is, for me, Peat Monster's always been one of those whiskeys. Once you like peat Monster is good. I kind of find it cloying. I don't know.
You said corny?
Cloying.
Okay. Cloying.
It's got this cloyingly weird thing. In other words, if any of those flavors you don't like, they're gonna linger too long on your palate, and it's gonna bother you. Whereas some of these whiskeys, you get those flavors you don't like, they're gonna go away unless it's just you don't like peat. Because peat doesn't go away fast.
Right.
Some of the other flavors, it's got this oily. I've been drinking too much tonight, man, to really explain this one. But there's just a note to that thing.
That honesty, though.
That I wouldn't recommend it.
My first dabble into peat was the Ardbeg Wee Beastie, and then I loved it. And then I got the Lafroig 10. And
you like
now
that too?
Now I'm looking to go to Lagavulin just to move on up.
Yeah, I mean, Lagavulin 16 was my first way in, and I'm a picky eater. I don't like most veggies. I'm picky. But man, when I tried Lagavulin 16, man, I was just like, yes. Woohoo! But it's $100 these days in most places.
Yeah,
so like,
that's the problem with it. But
it's hard for me to like tell you to go pick up $100 whiskey, but that's the one to try first if you can. See if you can get a bar.
Really good. I mean, I love my 16.
See if you can get a bar pour of that, and then but the thing was, this is crazy. I'm not lying, guys. I had Lagavulin 16. I loved it, and then people were trying to explain to me what peat tasted like, and I was like, I don't really understand what you're talking about. And I mean, I was drinking Lagavulin. I had a bottle of Lagavulin 16. I'm like, this just tastes delicious. I don't like.
Exactly.
I wasn't discerning enough in my palate to understand what the peat meant. Whereas some people dislike peat and they instantly like, no, that's peat. I don't like it.
All right. So the bottle you said, if you can try this one first, try this one. What was that one again?
Lagavulin 16.
Lagavulin 16. Okay, because I've seen the
bottle. Like, you ever watch Parks and Rec?
No.
Oh, dude, check that show. It's pretty funny. But
I've seen the 10 on base. I don't know if they have the 16 because I don't spend too much.
It's an 8 on. It's the 8 on base. Just don't start with that one, please.
Yeah, don't.
So if I can find the 16, get that.
Yeah, it's a little pricey, but again, go to a bar and just get a pour. I mean,
so in the bourbon world, how would that compare? Is that like finding a E.H. Taylor single barrel? I mean, what am I? It's
gonna be easy to find.
Yeah.
To me, I would consider that the equivalent of, not for difficulty of finding, but quality. When I got into bourbon, I started off with Buffalo Trace. So for me, it's the Eagle Rare of Scotch.
Oh, really? So like mid-level.
Mid-level, good. Well, but I mean,
good. It's mid-level. I don't mean that as an insult. It's got a good, solid, well-rounded profile. It's well-respected, middle-of-the-road price.
Well, actually, super cheap price relative to like premium. Because the thing is, Scotch is usually 2 or 3 times more expensive for the same level.
Right.
Because you got to ship it overseas. It costs $30 to ship it here.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that.
So like, there's a $30 factor right there. And now, mind you, back in the day, it was $60 for a Lagavulin 16, and it was $30 for a Eagle Rare. About a $30 difference. So to me, that was kind of.
Ken, you said Brimstone. I've heard of Brimstone before.
Yeah, but Brimstone's American. That's not really true peat.
Oh, really?
It's
not a good introduction, though. Like a crossover, I mean.
If you're going to start
introduced to peat, but I just don't like anything.
If you're going to start with peat, you got to start with actually Scotch whiskey. I think you can't do American. It's just my opinion, but okay, he's only had the first chin, Pete Monster. And yeah. I mean, again, if you can get a bar pour with Log 16, or if you know somebody might, I always feel bad telling somebody to start off with $100 freaking bottle of whiskey. Like that's not an insane price to spend for whiskey, but it's also like,
especially if it's not something that it's.
If you end up hating it, I feel really bad. Yeah. I mean, if you like it, that's great. But if you hate
it, If you said,
I agree with you, Dustin.
Yeah. If you said you should try this, if you're interested in getting into whiskey, try this Bardstown, whatever, and they drop $150 on it and they don't like it, you're gonna feel like a jerk.
Yeah. Like I just that's my thing. Is like, but I mean, but again, like the Lagavulin 16 was like a real. I mean, mind you, I bought that bottle at $60. I was in college when I bought that bottle. That was a $200 bottle for us normal guys now. Maybe $300, $400. Like, that was a crazy buy, but it was just one of those things that, like, it was on Parks and Rec, man. That guy kept talking it up. And I wanted to learn about peat. And it was one of the classic malts, I was told. Someone picked it up, and, man, I freaking fell in love.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, like, I essentially did the same stupid thing, and I spent what would have been, for those of us making over 50,000 a year, because at that time I was making like what 22 or something, 30 max, bussing tables, in my free time while I was in college, spending money. But I picked that thing up and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Hey, Brian.
Yep.
What are you drinking, man?
Right now I'm drinking the Clonic tea.
Oh, you're still on that one?
Yep.
Okay. I wish I could try that with you, man.
This is wonderful shit.
No,
Wonderful.
From what you said about it earlier, it sounds like it.
Yeah, it's briny. It's like in the finish reminds me of like just eating a shrimp cocktail.
Right.
It's got the seafood taste, like not
Right.
bad, not a bad fish, but a good
salty.
finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Like I wish I would have bought 2 bottles because it's gone now.
It happens.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I think Anthony, you mentioned Boone at 12. That's I don't. My concern with that one is people might not notice there's peat in it at all.
You have to look for it. It's there, but you have to look. You're absolutely right. You're mostly going to get it on the finish. You won't get it on the front part of the palate in the beginning. You're just not.
So my thought is generally more you go a little more vert, maybe you go HP12.
Mm-hmm.
Now I used to tell everybody to get to Highland Park 18 and just skip it, but again, the price on HP 18 went through the roof, and now it's too expensive to recommend.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, man, HP like 18 was like 120, which I know I told you I don't want to tell you to buy $100 whiskey, but
right.
HP 18 at 120 was just such a steal. Even if you don't like peat, you might still like that whiskey. So I'd feel better telling you that. Because the peat wasn't overwhelming. In fact, I mean, back in the day, man, I used to tell anybody, like, man, look, buy HP 18. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you dislike. And I can tell you everything you need to know about your Scotch journey for the next 6 months to a year. Because I can tell you what you do and don't like, because that has everything in it. The quality of the 18's gone down a little bit, and the price has gone way too up. It sucks.
All right, the peat I'm getting on this is if you took something sour and then burnt it.
Which one are you drinking?
And then threw some dirt on it.
Which one are you drinking?
The
Oban, Little Bay.
The Oban?
No, the High West.
Oh, High West.
I was gonna say,
that's just.
He had High West in his hand.
Yeah, tell us what you're getting on the. Tell us about the Oban, man. I can't help you with that High West. That High West.
No, I told you earlier the Oban had a nice whiskey profile, and there was that subtle smokiness, like you're drinking regular whiskey while you're eating barbecue. It's got a nice light smokiness to it that's pleasant. It's not offending at all.
I think you're gonna find yourself liking. Get a Highland Park 12 next.
Oh, Highland Park 12 is about $50.
50, $60. And so Oban's not actually technically peated.
Right.
There's a small ppm in there, and it's aged coastally where it takes on some smokiness. HP is going to be your next step up. I think you're going to like that. I mean, based on that. And then if you like that one, then we can go straight to the heavy peat and stuff.
Yeah, that's it, baby.
Mm-hmm. And also, again, if you don't like HP 12, even if like this peat you don't like, you might still actually like the HP. It's maybe one of those things like where you're like, there's a little thing I don't like here, but I'm gonna sip on this thing, or and I'll mix it with something. I'll mix it.
Right.
Have you had Johnny Walker Black?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Not a fan.
Why?
You know that with almost all Scotch, there is a note that you can associate with every single Scotch out there.
No.
Yeah.
Especially now when we're talking Johnny Walker Black, which tastes nothing like most scotches I drink.
There's just this kind of harsh spike in the middle towards the back of the palate, but somewhat in the middle, to where they're
Keep in mind, Johnny Walker Black is a blended scotch, which means it puts a lot of garbage whiskey in it, which is what you're describing to me is the grain whiskey note that is in that whiskey that sucks,
right?
But which is not normal within Scotch. Like, so does the Oban have the same note you have that you're getting? Does the Oban have the same thing you're talking about with the Johnny Walker?
No.
I think
okay. So the Oban is bottom shelf Scotch, single malt. Johnny Walker is lower middle shelf blended Scotch.
The 15.
Okay,
Johnny
so what you're saying is what you're saying the single malt compared to the blended is what's making the difference here?
Yes.
Okay. I can get with that.
Cheers there, Simon.
So do you this is
I'm a logic based guy, so when you tell me it's the single malt versus the blended that's making that difference to me, I totally get that.
Well, and so let's and the thing is I don't want to shit on blended, but here's the thing. Have you had light whiskey? American light whiskey?
Like obtaining?
Okay. So you've had ultra premium light whiskey.
Yeah.
So think of grain whiskey in the Scotch world as the equivalent of light whiskey in an American whiskey.
Oh, okay.
So they blend.
So those are comparable. Okay.
So think of it like as bourbon. This is not a great comparison, but think of it as bourbon compared to light whiskey, right?
Right.
So now imagine we're not talking high-end quality unobtainium. Think of it as like the cheapest, most like think of it as a 4-year light whiskey that we blended with a 4-year bourbon.
Okay.
That's what Johnny Walker Black is.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Now, mind you, it's a really good version of 4-year bourbon and light whiskey that Johnny Walker does. In truth, it's actually a pretty decent whiskey, in my opinion, as someone who's come to appreciate it over years of it's that curve where you're like, oh, I drink junk, and then eventually you get to where you drink good stuff. But then you also, as you get into good stuff, you start actually appreciating the not so good stuff because you kind of find like the quality that's there too.
Yes, in the bourbon world, I have definitely found that. Like, once you start appreciating really good, high quality bourbon, then all of a sudden you find great things in Evan Williams or JTS Brown or Ancient H&H. Like, you can start to appreciate some of the things they bring to the table when they're sub $20 bottles.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing happened to me in beer. I remember the one night somebody gave me a Miller High Life, and I'd been drinking like craft quality beer.
Yeah,
and if you gave me a Bud Light, I would just been like, "Go fuck yourself."
Right,
right. Miller High Life, and I went, there's a little bit of hoppiness here. There's like a good malt character.
That is the champagne of beers.
I was like, this is a C- beer, but I'm like, this is okay. What is this? And they're like, Miller High Life. And I'm like, apparently it's not as bad as I thought it was.
I used to always drink Miller High Life. I just think it was a decent all-around beer, particularly for the price.
Yeah, and after that experience, I told people, I don't want Budweiser. Give me Miller High Life, man. That thing is way better.
As long as I drank Budweiser, that's what was in my dad's refrigerator when I was in college. So, hey,
exactly, man.
And but once I got older and realized there's way better beer, and that's when MGD first came out, Miller Genuine Draft. So it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's just another way they rebranded Miller High Life. So I've been drinking Miller High Life forever and a day.
I think
I
High
like
Life
certain
is way
craft
better than
beers,
MGD
yes, but-
back then too, man. Like I tried the two of them, and I'm like, man, High Life. Anyway, when we're talking, I'm 37. This was back when I was 22, I think. No, 20 at the time when this happened. So it's been, a little while. But yeah, I mean,
but anyway, I agree with you. It's good, but when you're starting out on this peak journey, like it is important you take the right steps first. Vegas Art, was pointing out some stuff, and he also was talking about the Highland Park, and he had a question on the 12, and yes, it has a very subtle peat, but honey, heather, with that just a touch of smoke caressing that when you're in the Highland Park 12. When you get up like to the Viking Heart, the 15 that I have, that peat just jumps up ever so slightly in that 15, but it is really
for a newbie like him, that would be a note. That'd be a big jump.
I think it, to me, it's right there. I think
but we like peat, and we don't. It doesn't jump out as like an offensive note to us.
No,
it's different when somebody's like new to it. I think,
but I don't think it's that high as it's. I don't want to say it's even with the 12, but the step isn't okay. I'm not arguing with you, but I'm just saying.
Just personally for me, I like that 15 so much more because the peat jumped out for me.
Okay. Well, maybe that's why I like it, but like I said, it's wow. I just think it's great.
But you might be right, and maybe it's the fact that the sherry was pushed away, and the peat was more prominent that maybe I liked it. So you could be right, and I could be wrong here.
I'm going to pull out that bottle just so I can take a look.
I don't own the bottle. I've had a few samples. I actually really enjoyed it, though. In fact, I should have picked one up. They're sold out now here.
Okay, Highland Park 15.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, really good bottle, but that's. Well, and the thing is,
this one's going by the wayside. In other words, they'll come out with a 15, but they're not going to use this ceramic bottle anymore.
Yeah, that's a cool looking bottle.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like,
they're changing their entire bottling.
How much is in here anymore? So I know I've got to get another one. Yeah. So hopefully,
the thing is, they're getting rid of all their bottles because they're getting rid of that Viking stuff. Because one, it didn't market well, and two, kind of became well known that there was a white supremacist involved in that whole marketing scheme.
And do it every time. Every time.
Well, the thing is, Viking honor is kind of a white supremacist statement in that part of the world. Not here in America. It's not a thing. But when you're in Viking world, there's a connotation, which, again, us Americans, we didn't catch. They caught it overseas.
Right.
And then the fact that the marketing firm had those ties was kind of like, that's not a good look. Yeah. Also, nobody liked the Viking stuff.
Right.
So it was like a double whammy. Like, consumers didn't care.
Well, raping and pillaging is not looked at very well these days.
That wasn't even the issue. It was the fact that there was a white supremacist element to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one of those, like, it was one of those things, again, just they didn't vet the marketing firm correctly. And then on top of that,
right.
The bottles, nobody liked them.
Yeah, and so the marketing team needed to go back to the drawing board.
Exactly. But, the problem you run into is you don't they just like back down and go, because it costs a shit ton of money to like back down from a bottling. So, Simon.
Good to see you, Dustin.
What's up, Simon?
Yeah, good to see you, Mark.
Yeah.
And now I can thank you in person, Simon, for passing along the win. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, no worry. I'm glad it was you. I'm glad it was you.
Hey, cheers, Chris. No problem, man. I understand that. I got to get up at the crack of dawn myself here.
Yeah. Hey,
So
Anthony, I
it's
don't
like
think
what,
I've ever.
4 p.m., 5 p.m. for you, Simon?
Hey, what was that?
It's like what, 4 or 5 p.m. for you?
No, it's just 10 past 2.
So you're in the same time zone Ken's in then?
Yeah, Western Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason you were further over. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, compared to Ken, yeah, he is further over.
Yeah, or further down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're where it's green still.
Yeah. Mine's still got green.
Mhm.
Hey, Anthony, I was admiring your safe.
Hey, good morning. Cheers. Thanks for
It's
joining
8
us.
a.m. there for
Yeah.
Jason.
Hey, Anthony, you got your safe behind you. You got that mounted into the wall, like kind of bolted down.
Yeah, if you're gonna get that, you're gonna get a lot of lead thrown at you first. But if you can if you can get it out,
Yeah.
well,
Mine's bolted to the floor and the wall.
Right.
well,
Well, that's just some of the kind of doing the friendly thing and sharing the knowledge to other people. I was hoping that yours was bolted down because my neighbor put a safe in his closet and he didn't bolt it down. And I told him that I have seen, because I'm in the security industry, I do private security, and I've seen footage of people walking out of houses they broke into, like two-man carrying safes out of it and throwing it in their, the bed of their truck to go break into it somewhere else because the safe wasn't bolted down itself.
Well, the key is you never actually put your expensive stuff in the safe, right? Like you put that in your dirty underwear.
exactly.
Like you put cheap shit like guns in a safe. Your watches, this goes in your underwear drawer.
Look, the only thing that's in there is my highly allocated bottles.
Yeah, because you lost all your guns in a boating accident. I know.
I did.
Oh, no. I keep my highly allocated bottles just away from where all the bourbon is. Like I put it in with the Scotch. No one would ever think to steal Scotch.
Yeah, those boating accidents are contagious.
Yeah,
Telling you. I've got 4 of them within arm's reach of me right now.
Like, legitimately, seriously. I'm on a few forums that are watch guy forums, right? And there's guys, who have, on their wrist, this is my most expensive watch. This is a few thousand short of, 5 figures. I could buy a car with this watch, but not a great one. But those guys have 50 watches that you could buy a freaking BMW with. And I've heard stories of those guys when they go on vacation. What they do, they go in the laundry room and they just kind of scatter watches in the dirty clothes. And they've actually had their houses broken into, and some dude literally found their watch box collection.
Yeah, see,
he cleared all the boxes out. Didn't get a single watch.
Yeah, but what would happen if the guy breaking in was like some dirty pervert and went through your dirty underwear?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? That's the risk you take.
It is.
But I'll be honest with you, man. If some dude breaks in your place and you've got that kind of money, let me tell you, a soldering iron or something can get your safe unbolted, no problem.
That's why pictures, serial numbers, and your original certificate for your authenticity and everything. Pay your deductible and just collect your check.
I just feel bad for the guy that kicks in my door when I'm home.
Yeah. That killer cat, you got to rip their eyes out.
Yeah, I've got this.
I feel bad for that guy too, because I'm going to be butt ass naked and looking at him like,
Really?
What are you doing here, dude? And by the way,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
you're not
all
going
the
to fight
serial
me.
numbers
I'm
for
not
all
going
my
to fight
firearms
you.
are documented.
I'm not fighting anybody. As soon as the door gets kicked in, there's a round going in the chest, and the second round, and then one to the head.
Yeah, I'm not even doing that, man. I'm just looking at him, and I guarantee you, me just looking at him, they're gonna turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
Well, if you're naked, you can do the helicopter, and I'll scare them the fuck away.
You know, I got thrown out of a bar doing that once on a table.
There's no doubt.
I don't remember it, but my friend was like, "Dude, the fuck are you doing? You were spitting your dick on the table." And I was like, "So what happened exactly?" He goes, "Well, the bouncers knew me, so I was asked to help you leave."
Yeah, I've got a 150-pound dog that will alert me to anything coming my way, and the shotgun 12 gauge is the closest thing to my bed, and so the cameras, the house alarm, the dog, and then the shotgun. You're getting it.
I'll be honest, man. I feel like 99.99%. I can just walk up to the person and go, "Hi, I'm Dustin." They're gonna run because that's the reality. Is no one is gonna run from somebody with them in their place unless you are so fucking crazy rich,
right?
That there's something insane to steal. Like, I always see people talking about needing their guns, and I got no problem with guns, man. I got no problem with people wanting to use force or whatever to protect themselves, but I'm always just like, at the end of the day, no one is gonna fuck with stuff. There's a person there.
The problem comes in when you're surprised home during the day, and the bad guy breaks in and they didn't know you were there. That's when the problem
they don't
comes.
want the confrontation.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the bad guy is just gonna run because they're gonna see somebody and be like, now again, there is that 10-15% of people who fight first. Most people, they run.
Right. They don't want the confrontation.
And again, now mind you, if
it's naked grandma, they're still gonna run.
Yeah. Now mind you, if grandma is like 5 feet from them, they're probably gonna attack her. But if you're more than like 10 feet away from somebody and they see a person, they're just gonna run.
Yeah, but Dustin, if you show them a gun, they're gonna run faster.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think that's the case. I think literally they're just gonna freak out and run because they're not expecting a person there. Because people don't want confrontation, dude. How many guys have you met who couldn't even go up and talk to a girl they wanted to have sex with?
Yeah.
Because they were too scared to say, "Hi, I think you're pretty."
Well, the problem comes in if the guy who kicks in the door has a gun and he doesn't know how to use it and he's scared.
Yeah. He's gonna miss every time. Yeah.
Yep. That's when
the thing is, he's not going to start shooting either, though. Like, again, because no. Here's the thing: if you're trained to use a gun, you're going to use a gun. No, people going in to rob your house aren't trained to use a gun. They're not ex-military for the most part.
Well, no, but 16 years of law enforcement says the guy who kicks, once he gets inside, he's scared enough that he's going to pull the trigger because he's scared.
Gun. Anthony, I get the impression he might know how to use a gun. Simon, I'm guessing, probably knows how to use a gun because Simon's freaking out in Australia.
Australia, we don't.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you probably aren't allowed to know how to use it.
I've used it in the past. I did like police rangers and police cadets, and we went to shooting ranges all the time.
Yeah. But my point is, if you're not trained to use a gun and you have a gun on you, you're going to forget you have it.
Evening, bacon.
Oh, yeah. You're scared, you're going to just run. If you're trained to use a gun, okay, well, now I'm scared. Yeah. But again, and also, who are criminals? Who are violent criminals? There are people between the age of 16 and like 26.
But the problem is if you get like someone who's off his head on meth or something, then that's...
I agree. And
Or if they've got a long list of warrants and this is like their third strike and they have nothing to lose.
Well, no, I mean, if they're on meth, it doesn't matter about all that other stuff. They're on meth. They're going to be a danger to anybody and everybody because they think they're invincible. I'm not saying there's no reason to ever do. My point is, overwhelmingly, people are going to run if you just simply are there.
So I think overall the safest would be to stop it is actually put C4 around all the doors in your house.
Yeah, until you set it off yourself.
I personally would not, as a combat engineer in the Army. C4 is a cutting charge. I would not put that shit on my own house. I've used thousands of pounds of C4 in my Army career. I just hit 16 years in the Army, and I've used a lot of C4, and I wouldn't put that anywhere near my own house.
I would imagine like 101's idiot's guide to protecting yourself at home.
Give me some deck cord, give me some claymores, but I'm putting C4 in my house.
Well, I mean, Bacon, there's lots of people who have been trained to use guns, but they're not the ones breaking into your house to rob you.
100% exactly correct.
Violent criminals are overwhelmingly
ignorant
young men.
Yep.
Who are in a bad place. Who were, and mind you, if you were trained in the military or something, you probably are not desperate for things to where you need to do that. I mean, again, now we're not talking about a confrontation out on the street. I'm talking about your house. Ex-military and police people are not breaking into your house. And guys in their 30s are not breaking into your house. They're under 30. They're young. They're stupid, and they're going to be scared very quickly by simply seeing an adult. I mean, unless you, again, are a multi-millionaire where you've got crazy, jewels and diamonds, and then maybe you could run into professionals. But who's breaking into my house? I mean, I'm living in an apartment here. Yeah, I got some nice stuff. They're not breaking in here for like $10,000 profit with the risk of somebody fighting them. And if they see me, they're going to be like, oh, my bad. Wrong apartment. Didn't mean to walk in here. You kick the door down, dude. Sorry, just wrong place. I thought it was mine. Thought my key wasn't working. They're going to run.
All right, Anthony, I got to get up early in the morning. One last pour, and then I'm going to bounce. What are we drinking?
That's what I was going to do, too. I'm going to pour myself another glass of Scotch. And since I've had 3 pours of peated Scotch, I might as well have another.
Yeah, I'll join you.
You know what? I will hedge so I can join Anthony and our good friend here with the American flags going on.
Drink what you want, Mark.
And so my hedge, sherry finished.
What are you drinking, Mark?
Malted rye. In the U.S. Oh, this is amazing. You have any finished whiskey, Mark?
I've got a good amount of finished. I've got a huge variety.
Any sherry finished? Any sherry finished?
I've got Armagnac, Marsala, Port. There's sherry in here.
What are you drinking, Simon?
Something actually inspired from Anthony's stream last week. He mentioned a Glengoyne. So I said, you know what? I haven't had a Glengoyne for ages. So I went to see. I got the 18.
I'll pour that one.
That's not bad at all, man. It's a little dull, but it's well done.
To be honest, I like it better than the 21. That was. Like the 21 was really good. But
going 18.
I've had the new 21 and 18, so I can't comment on the new bottles. But the old ones, the 18, was not as good as the 21.
Hey, you know what?
21.
Let's just do a knob 12.
Oh,
100 proof?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. All
right, I'll join you in that.
Dude, knob 12 is just good.
I killed my knob 12.
The 21 was good, but it was just too much sherry for me personally. Like, 'cause it's all sherry with this.
That's fine. I don't have enough.
Like, I mean, it wasn't good.
Simon, was that a 200 CL
thing?
No, that's
beautiful new riff.
Full bottle.
350.
That's a good pour.
Knob 12-100.
700.
Oh, that was.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
You know,
It didn't look like it.
this might be legitimately the best value whiskey I bought in the last couple of years.
Oh, dude, New Riff is awesome. Good job bringing that up because New Riff.
Oh yeah, I
is,
picked this up the other day.
Dude, I love it.
Crazy.
I've never had any new riff. Can't get it here.
Clyde Maid's 15.
Oh, 112.
It's
Straight
pretty much
bourbon. So that's gonna be a Jim. That's gonna be a Jim Beam then, I guess.
I'm with you on that New
It
Riff.
is.
That
Yeah,
New
that's
Riff is
the
good.
first thing. Is
Well,
as soon as
so
I
this right here, buddy, Mark. This is the 6-year malted rye.
Oh no, yeah, I heard about the malted rye come out. Yeah.
This is, however, finished in Oloroso and PX Sherry.
What? I didn't hear about that one.
Look at
Well,
the
that
color.
looks like coffee, man. That is dark.
Dark.
It's so here's a story, man. I'll tell it again. So I had a few bottles for a friend of mine. And I missed out on the most recent like special release new riff thing. But he got them. He was picking them up. So I went to the store and I went to the bar and I was like, hey man, I missed out on the thing, blah, blah, blah. The guy misunderstood me, thought he was like, oh, we can probably get you those bottles today. I'm like, oh, cool. And then the other bartender's like, I think he misheard you. He can't get you those bottles. And I'm like, oh, no big deal. I'm like, oh, do you have them for like, I can sample? Yeah. I'm like, oh, just give me a pour of both. That'd be great. So I get them. They're delicious. Awesome stuff, you know. But I was honestly like, you know what? Missed out. No big deal. My buddy comes down after he's picked his stuff up, and I'm like, hey, Blake, get over here, buddy. And he goes, hey, man, you got any of this, the sherried one left? He goes, yeah, we got it. I mean, he goes, to buy? And he goes, like, no. And then I'm like, no, just drink. He goes, oh, yeah, I got that. Pours us too. And we start talking about how great it is. Well, about 5 minutes later, he comes over and he goes, there you go. He goes, he goes, man, you know, good conversation. We're trying to keep these, you know, to the right people. But he's like, you guys obviously need to get a bottle of this. So and he goes, hey, also, I feel bad for you. I told you the wrong thing earlier, blah, blah, blah. He gave us these pours. And so he gave us the bottles. Awesome. And then Blake just starts handing cash to him. Like, here you go, buddy. And I gave him like $40. I mean, we're not talking like anything insane here. He gave him $20. Then like the guy came back and he goes, hey, do you share tips with both people? And he goes, yeah, we share tips. He goes, oh man, here you go. I wanted you to get $20. So I got to give you 40.
Bacon, cheers, brother. You drink that shit. Because at one time, I liked White Label. That was my go-to drink in when I was in college. I'd pour that sucker. I'd sip on that all day long with 2 ice cubes and be perfectly happy.
Yep.
White never did it for me, man.
I can't do it now.
Yep.
But I understand.
Maybe it tasted better back in your day, Anthony.
That's 1980. That'd be 1987.
Yeah, it might have been better back then.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was not a drinker.
Here's what made it amazing, though. After Blake gave that tip, which, I mean, again, that's a nice tip, but it wasn't anything insane. I was going to give the guy like $15 on my credit card when I tipped out because he was really good. Cool. He pours us 2 little samples of a New Riff single barrel. That's unlike any single barrel I've ever had before. And I knows it. I'm just like, that ain't New Riff. He gave us something freaking cool, man. He's got some crazy bottle back there. That was a New Riff.
Yeah.
And he tells us after we tried him, like, dude, what is that? He goes, it's a single barrel we got.
Yeah.
He goes, it was top shelf, 122 proof, 122.7 proof.
122?
Really?
Yeah.
Because I got a 113.
Yeah, that's
113
normal.
Justin's House of Bourbon barrel pick, and it is fantastic. But it's 113. 122? That sounds awesome.
Now I'm not done. They got 8 cases out of that. A New Riff case is 6 bottles.
Right. Yeah.
They got 48 bottles out of that barrel. So we try this and we look at him and we go, and Blake's just handed him a wad of cash and he goes, "Can we get a bottle each?" And mind you, I was the one who helped us get this bottle but Blake, was tipping well. And again, this isn't like some kind of crazy tipping. Like it wasn't like he gave him $100 or something. He gave him $40, which is an awesome tip. But we're not talking stupid here. And he was just like, "Yeah, I can get you guys a bottle each." Brings back bottle each.
Oh, nice.
And obviously, additional tips were included after he hooked us up. Because, we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, this was $150, $200 bourbon.
Right.
Like, this thing was insane. It was like a $50 bottle. And this was not for sale, on the normal, option list. It was so good. I'm going to make sure as many people get to try this thing as possible. That's my mission with that bottle. It's I'm a terrible shipper, but I'm going to make sure people get to try that thing because it's just. I didn't know New Riff could even taste like that whiskey.
Yeah, New Riff.
I lived 20 minutes from New Riff. I go to New Riff and I'll just go in there hey, let me get the sample lineup of all your single barrels, and I'm usually cool, thanks, I'm out. You're not going to buy anything? Nah, I'm good. Or every now and then I'm that one actually was really good.
Everything I've had from New Riff has been awesome. I really like it. Their bottled and bond is amazing as a $40 bottle.
I enjoy it, but I don't know that I think it's amazing. I enjoy it.
No, when you compare it to other $40 bottles, their New Riff bottle and bond is awesome.
I think if you compare it to other craft distilleries, I think they're on the upper echelon. Yes,
that was a good choice, Simon.
Yes, yeah,
it was.
But if I compare it to Henry McKenna 10-year, which is bottle and bottom, which was $30,
you are not finding that shit for $40 anywhere.
Not anymore, but I was.
No,
up until very recently. I can still get E.H. Taylor bottled and bond for $40.
Send a few cases over here. I'll pay
I know, right?
Tell them, Simon.
I've never seen any EH.
I think Wilderness Trail is actually a little better than.
Oh, I love New
Riff. Oh, fuck no, absolutely not. Wilderness Trail is not better than New Riff.
I generally do.
You know what? I'm not going to argue with you, Mark, but man, I tell you what, I had a bottle of Wilderness Trail that set me back on my heels. That son of a bitch was so damn good. Particularly
really?
6 months later. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I didn't touch it. I went back to it because of a stream and somebody mentioned something. It was on one of my streams. And I said, you know what? I haven't touched my bottle in at least.
I think that was me, Anthony, because I got that Bry store pick.
It may be. Because that was the first review I ever did. And I put the cork on that and set it back. And I had a few sips and then I just didn't touch it. And
now, mind you, Wilderness Trail does nothing close to this.
Wow, did that flavor change?
Their regular bourbons at 4 years, I think I do like them better than New Riff. Single barrels are the thing with New Riff is their single barrel program ranges from this to this to Go Gadget Arms. Whereas Wilderness Trail seems to just put out.
No, I appreciate your mention of Go Gadget Arms because that shit goes for days.
You know what, Vegas Art? It depends on that McKenna, but I agree with you.
Well, I've had 3 McKennas, and 2 of them were shit. So I've never had a Wilderness Trail pick or a New Riff, but I'd take the New Riff or Wilderness over Henry McKenna because those 2 were shit. Henry.
I mean,
McKenna.
that rye, that Wilderness pick rye was my favorite bourbon last
that
year.
I have is awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to send you some of it because I love it. It's good.
Dude, I'll be honest. I've had some Henry McKennas that were okay. Dude, I've had a couple, though. Like, somebody sent me a text like, hey, dude, go to the store. They just got them in. And wait till you see how dark it is. And I got it. And I'm like, all right, cool. Bought it, poured it. I'm like,
the first Henry McKenna I had, I almost poured it down the drain. I choked that shit down.
Wow. I've had maybe 6 Henry McKennas.
But when you're talking about single barrels, that happens.
Yeah. Now the second one I had was great. I loved it. But the first one, the one and the second one was gifted to me through somebody in Whiskey Tube. So I would have never bought a second one after that first one because it was
tell you what,
awful.
The Taylor single barrels, they have the wildest swing of anyone I've ever had.
Yeah.
So that's why I stick with the small batch. I mean, I've got single barrels sitting up there. I got 2 bottles of it. But wow, the one bottle was phenomenal. Opened up the second bottle, was right behind it. I bought them in pairs. I got them for $45 a piece about 2 years ago, something like that. I know it was just under $50. And when I opened up that second bottle, I looked twice at the bottle because I was like, what is this? But that's what happens with those. Apparently it wasn't the same batch, but I bought, back to back because I just grabbed the 2 bottles because I said, hey, under $50 for single barrel, that's a good price. So I grabbed it. And because I finished one just about, and so I just picked up the 2, and that bottle I've got open is not like the first one. Not like the first one. The McKenna I got open is as good as the first one because the batches were the same. I bought them together because the numbers were exact. So I figured I rolled the dice. It's either going to be it's going to be a hitter or it's going to be a shitter.
Well, you talk about single barrels though, and here's what shocks me. I was always a big fan of the Weller 107 stuff. Like back when I was in my 20s, I used to buy those things. And so I picked up a couple, a few years back, and I got a bottle that was quite frankly undrinkable.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean bad. I mean, I legit couldn't drink it neat.
Yeah.
Tried ice.
107s are not all created equal. Yeah.
No, Weller 107, which is a batch product, not single barrel.
Right.
Batch.
Right.
Awful. Terrible.
Yep.
I finished it drinking it with Coke, and I'll be honest with you, man, I had to put more Coke in there than any other freaking bourbon I ever had. Then I bought another bottle. Next bottle I bought, delicious.
My theory on that is
right. Yeah.
And so my point is, it's not even single barrel. Sometimes the batches fuck up from giant, massive distilleries who should never make these mistakes.
Right. Yeah, but my theory on that is maybe like the actual.
This is the one he's talking about, Brian.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I can get that.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, my theory on is that the actual guy who usually picks the single barrels, he might be on holiday, and then like some trainee distiller or new person has to take over while he's gone, and that's how you get the inconsistencies. I reckon.
Well, again, Simon, we're talking.
Now I can only get the 18 and 12 year tomato.
Weller 107, which is a small batch product. But even then, so the way the distilleries work is they have a team of people who are doing tastings. It's not one person; it's a team.
Right.
But what I think a lot of people don't quite realize is the fact that tasting whiskey is actually the worst way to judge a whiskey from the barrel.
Oh yeah.
What,
Brian?
So
private chat. My number's in there. And I'll be in Virginia next week. I'll hand deliver you some of that.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah. So,
Mark, it's not there, Anthony.
When they're actually doing
it
at the distillery,
nope.
Bryce, wait, give us like 10 seconds here from this. Finish this because this is useful.
Oh, now it is.
There you go. I was gonna say it's got to be.
What
it was a bit of delay.
They're master distillers and blenders. What they actually are doing is they are nosing the whiskeys, and they're blending it and they're nosing it. They don't really drink a lot of the whiskey. In fact, almost all decisions are made on nose, because that's a more consistent way than tasting. I just think every now and then,
it's
the
good.
nose and the taste just deviate.
All right, guys. It was fun. I'm gonna run.
Mark,
cheers, buddy.
Night, Mark.
Pleasure, sir.
Cheers,
if I don't see
cheers,
you
bud.
before Veterans Day, sir.
Color.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Jesus.
Hey, I hope you guys jump on and join us for Veterans Day.
Yeah, what time are you going on?
So Trevor's gonna go on before Matt at ADHD, and then we're gonna go on to do our Veterans Day special after him. So it's probably gonna be like 9 or so.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm off that day, so
yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be later in the evening, but
yeah, perfect.
Yeah. All right. Catch you later.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate
it, buddy.
Launch you. And thanks for your service, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy. He helped me get that Heroes bottle I got because just couldn't find him here. And I'm having my friends that have served or still serving just sign the bottle. I'm never going to drink it, but it's just for that. So, yeah.
I mean, honest to goodness, man, there's so many good people in this community.
Oh, tremendous. I've met a lot of people here in Vegas that didn't know who they were until just recently over the last year live within 20 miles of me. Now there's some events going on, unfortunately, because of my work schedule I can't get to, but one of these days I'm going to post a little meetup and see if we all can't meet like a liquor lineup here on my end of the world, or go up to Henderson and go to Quarry's and just have a little meetup or something like that. They're bottle shops, Simon. And so, just to go meet up and sample some whiskeys and bullshit a little bit and, get to know people. But there's quite a few here in Vegas. And over the last year, I'm realizing that know me. I don't know them, but they've come up to me in the different shops and said, "Oh, you're a bourbon neophyte. I've seen you on YouTube." And I'm like, it doesn't happen often, but enough to where it's like, what? So they're the people that lurk.
That's awesome.
Really, yeah, it is. It is. It kind of throws you back on your heels. What?
Jeffrey Wack's the only person that's ever come up to me and be like, "Hey, I know you."
I know you. I know you.
But the best part was I was wearing a mask and I was talking to him and we were just chatting and he goes,
I know.
And it was like, it wasn't like I recognize you. So I recognize your voice.
Well, exactly.
Because then we're wearing masks and I'm like, he goes, "Top shelf whiskey, Dustin?" And I'm like,
"That's me."
And I was just like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm Jeffrey White." I'm like, "Oh my God, I know you too, man. What's up, buddy?" But at that point, Jeffrey had never been on any kind of streams that I'd seen. But yeah, that's the only time I think I've been recognized.
But anyway, I will say this: the Glengoyne 21 is definitely a step above the 18. However, I like this 18 a lot. I also like the Legends in the Glengoyne. Really, really good.
The 21
in this Mazapan, that's not bad.
I think the only reason is, like I mentioned, I'm not a big sherry bomb, and the 21 is all sherry.
Yeah.
Where the 18 is, it has a big portion of first fill, but it's also bourbon, and I like that. It cuts through a bit of that heavy sherry and give
that
it more
Mazapan thing to me is what
I will say this: the 18 is a obvious massive step up from the rest of the Glengoyne standard lineup.
You know, the 12 though, to me, I'm like, for an everyday drinker, just something to drink. I thought the 12 was good.
Well, that's why I got the 18. I saw your thing. I'm like, hang on, I haven't had a Glengoyne for ages. So when I looked on the website near a store,
the 18 is a massive step up from.
It's a huge.
They had it on sale as well. So I was like, okay.
Now, mind you, again, they just redid the bottling. I don't know if they messed with the product. I don't know, but the 18's always been like. So I remember I had the 12, I had the 15, I had the 18. The 12 is heavy bourbon, very little sherry, or they use really refilled sherry. It's a fine sipping whiskey. I mean,
it's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I like it. I mean, I don't think it's bad at all.
No, nothing bad. It's like it's one of those like, okay, it's fine, but at the same time, I'm like, I'd rather buy Highland Park 12. I'd rather buy Boone 12. Like it's just one of those like I'm like, this is okay.
Oh no, Boone 12 would beat Glengoyne 12 any day.
And then the Glengoyne 15 was like a step up in price, and it just sucked for that price increase. And the problem with that one was it actually had less sherry in my mind at the time than the 12. And I thought Glengoyne was about sherry. 18, good sherry. You're right, Simon. A little blend. Now, the better whiskey between the 21 and the 18, in my opinion, based on what I consider objective things, which is, I think, Glengoyne is trying to be a very neutral spirit. They're not trying to have a little acidity. They're not trying to have any of those off notes. 21 has less of that than the 18. Neither have much of any of it. They're very well done whiskeys. But I think those bourbon casks are kind of giving the 18 some off notes.
Well, that's what I like. Like it's more rougher. It's definitely more rougher than the 21, the 18, and I actually like that. Like this is actually for me got more drying oak on it than the 21. Like.
And then that's kind of where I'm at. Is like again, there's the objective and then there's the subjective. Objectively, I think most people would say the tasting notes of the 18 are lesser than 21. But
if I had
like I said, sherry bombs for me. Like it's very.
If I have my druthers, and I could either if price wasn't an objective, I would definitely buy the 21 again, without a doubt, over the 18. But I like the 18, and I would probably, if I had my druthers again, 12 or 18. Well, I'd go with the 18 over the 12. But for an everyday, inexpensive type of a drinker, I'd grab the 12 just like I grabbed Glenfiddich 12. And people,
I'd buy the 18 back in the day when it was like $78.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other problem. Is these price jump so much now. It's ridiculous. Like I was lucky I got this on sale for about the equivalent of $125 USD for the 18, which is
that's all right.
That's what I mean. You can't beat that. But now
that's what I paid for my 18.
Yeah.
Again, that's the problem I had is Glengoyne went from being like Glengoyne was the value sherried whiskey brand. And now they're now that their prices are just skyrocketing. I mean, Mash and Drum.
My last 21-year-old, the last one I had from Glengoyne, I only paid the equivalent of $170 USD for it.
Now it's like $300.
Exactly, and not only that, it's the same price as Glendronach, and I prefer Glendronach 21 over the.
Yeah, because it's 26 years old right now.
Yeah, and plus it's 46. That's also
48.
a downside. Yeah, 48.
Oh, it's 48. The Glengoyne 21 is 43.
43. Yeah, that's the only downside of these Glen. It's they're 43%. It's
No, I'm with you 100%, Simon. I mean, I disagree with your 18-21 view, but I understand where you're at. And here's what I always go back to. There is objective, subjective views. Objectively, the 21's a better whiskey. Subjectively, you drink what you like better.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm a
9 times out of 10, the objective thing and the subjective thing are hard to differentiate. I think the 21-year-old Glengoyne was obviously a better whiskey than the 18.
It was beautiful.
In the way they put it together. The 18 had some obvious flaws, but if you were not a Sherry Bomb fan,
it
doesn't matter that there's obvious flaws. It's still better because you don't like Sherry Bombs.
The 21 Glengoyne was the first one to make me realize where a drop of water in a dram in a Scotch can make a damn difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always was against adding water to anything. I go, no, I want to taste it in its true form, blah, 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 blah. The 21 was good, but there was just something about it. And this was last Christmas, and I was at my father's. And my sister and brother-in-law were in Scotland for a month that year, and they sent him that as his Christmas gift. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, you know what, Dad? I'm going to do it. So I went over. He has a reverse osmosis system, and I turned it on to where it was just drip, 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 and I put 2 drops of water in 1.5 ounces, maybe. I know it wasn't over 2 ounces, but it wasn't under that. And I let it set for 5 minutes, and I made that sucker dizzy. And I spun it around, and I then took another sip, and I looked at him, and I said, it's great neat, but it's superb with 2 damn drops of water. Go over there and put water in there. I said, I would never say that in a million years, but I'm telling you right now, 2 drops of water opens that thing up. And by the time I left, out of that bottle, there was about that much left. And I was there for 4 days. And I said to him, I'm leaving you this bottle of Smoke Wagon, which I did. And I left him the rest of that. I said, I'm not going to take that with me. I said, I'm going to leave that for you since it was your present for Christmas from my sister. I said, but holy smokes, was that good. And of course, he polished that off without a doubt. But 2 lousy drops of water in that 21-year-old was it. It was the bomb. I mean, it just took that damn thing, and it just gave it a whole new damn tilt. 2 lousy drops of water in that thing.
I'll never forget. I'm always going to believe that water helps stuff, but so I was at Mash and Drum's house. This is like maybe my 3rd time at Jason's place. So we were still we didn't know each other that well yet, I'd been there a little bit, and so Jason gives me 2 glasses of whiskey blind. He's like, hey man, this is the first time Jason's ever walked, I mean, mind you, he had some other stuff going on, but he's like, hey man, I'm just giving you these 2 samples. I got to go upstairs and change. I got stuff to do. So I got to get ready. Let me know but I want to know what you think. So he gave me these 2 samples of whiskey. What's better? So I got these 2 samples of whiskey, and so I try them both, and I'm like, and there's something about this whiskey on my right that I'm just like, it tastes closed off. Like there's something wrong here. So I go pour, Glencairn with water, come back, just a little dap here, and I go and taste them again. And I'm like, that's what I thought. This one that seemed closed off, that wasn't doing so well, water was just this incredible whiskey. The other one, the quality went down. I'm like, oh man, that did not do well with water. I'm like, huh. So I went back and forth again, tasted, I had tasted these things a couple times. And so Jason comes back and I was like, man, I'll be honest, they were really close initially. I think maybe I'll take this one over here. But I had water and it's just no brainer. This is way better. This is crap. comparatively.
Oh, yeah. I cannot argue that fact anymore. I mean, I was staunch, neat, and I will say this: I will try everything neat because I want to see what they put in the bottle, and I might do 2 glasses before I digress. But
yeah,
I agree with what Bacon said. They want you to try that booze neat. That's the way it was intended. However, the water can be your friend, and just a little drop can often make a huge bit of difference.
Oh, yeah. Every bottle I buy, I try neat, and then I put a drop or 2 of water in.
Well,
every single one.
Thing is, a lot of distillers actually bring their stuff down to around 35.
Yes, they do. They bring it. Yeah. They proof that shit way down.
So to finish my story was
sorry.
Ultimately, no, you're totally fine. So in the story, what were the pours? It was Stagg Junior 12, batch 12, and George T. Stagg 2019. And the George T. Stagg 2019 is just a vastly better whiskey once you put a drop of water on it. If you don't put water on it, that whiskey just doesn't open up and you don't get the age.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason was shocked when I was like, dude, once I put that drop of water on there, man, this is older whiskey. It's way better. Not even contest. And he's just like, and I asked Jason, because Jason, after he told me what they were, I said, Jason, did you put water on those when you blinded them? He goes, no, didn't need. And I'm like, so to the point of this is the way a distiller intended, I so strongly disagree. No distiller ever intends their whiskey to be drank cask strength. They offer it to people cask strength because they want the people to find out where they like their whiskey the best. And that's a problem why a lot of distillers don't want to do cask strength is because I remember I was chatting with a guy who did the Down Home. So Down Home batch 1 was cask strength. Down Home batch 2, 12-year-old, he reduced the proof of that whiskey 1.3% because he thought 1 drop of water was that much better. That's him basically saying, I know better than you do. And that's the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right, the goddamn Bacon, because what happens is it releases all the molecules, because at the moment they'll be all completely joined together, but when you add the water, it breaks them apart, so you get all the different flavors out.
Yeah, and the other thing, I've noticed is that I can add a drop of water when I just, pour a glass of whiskey. So you do that, or I can pour a glass of whiskey and wait an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Now, here's the thing. I want to drink my whiskey within 15 minutes of pouring it. I mean, I will nose the whiskey for a long time, man. I don't want to wait an hour. But if I do actually wait an hour, the equivalent of a drop of water of whiskey into the whiskey is about the same as waiting an hour and 2 hours for the really heavy cask strength stuff. So, it's whatever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, I might have to try some water in this Clyde, that 15-year-old Clyde May, see what happens to it.
I think you should, especially on that's cask strength. Just a little.
I mean, not 212.
It's beautiful stuff.
I mean, it's Jim. Like you're right. Like definitely, like as soon as it opened, you could tell it was Jim Beam straight away.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, sometimes just a new dick. Okay. Well, you haven't ruined a glass. You've slightly reduced the quality of 1 pour of your whiskey. but you only slightly reduced it. You know, I mean, I'm not a big fan of like, can add 1 drop taste, 1 drop.
Yeah, no,
if it's negative, don't add more.
That's exactly right. Like I said, but I was always against it. I really, truthfully was. And then, you know, I did a review, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bring some water here, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and that lit the fuse. And then when I got that Glengoyne 21 with my dad, I went over and I added that. I added 1 drop, which I could tell the difference. I said, I'm going to try 1 more. And it was really good. The 3rd one didn't do it. The 3rd one was like, no.
Last time.
So it happens. You know, he's down under. So.
Yeah.
But
you know what's crazy is, so Mike could have a review of the not to brag, with the 4-gate Foundation 14-year-old.
Unite, man.
Hazmat. And so I shared it with Blake, who provided that sample, and we had
that internet down under.
No, occasionally my mouse double clicks. I'll click once, but it'll double click.
I know.
Like
that's why I try to keep my hand off that stupid pad. I have booted myself out of different streams or before, and like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was an assignment maneuver.
No.
Too early for that.
I was like, yeah, you're not that drunk. I'm that drunk. You're not.
Yeah.
But so I reviewed that whiskey, so I sent the note to my friend who gave me the sample, and he was just like, that's the funniest thing ever, seeing Mike admitting defeat to high proof whiskey. And I was like, dude, that thing is special high. But he goes, but then you guys proofed it down as you went, and like, you got the notes, man. Like, he goes, that was awesome. Like, watching you guys, like, all right, this is a sample review. We're gonna dissect this thing. And we just slowly proofed down. Found a way to get the quality. This is a great whiskey, but it just takes this.
Yep. But if you're really going to understand something,
and
that's why I said,
I'll
get a bottle of that Bottle to Bond Rye Smoke Wagon eventually, and I'll sit down with it, and I'll work through that thing, and I'll have 3-4 different pours out of it before I really make a decision on that, whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down. But I don't know. For the money, that's where it makes me go, because I don't feel personally, from the taste I had, it's a $70 bottle.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I don't feel it's a $70 bottle with the taste.
So Mike and I always talk about it, like, we need to give a score. And this is our thing. I mean, you can do your own thing, but we always think we give a score that has nothing to do with price. And then we want you to be like, hey, when they say 87, I'll pay this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can agree with that. Yep.
I think that's what I think, like, because here's the problem I was running into, right? I will spend more for this than you will. You'll spend more for that than I will. So when price factoring is tough, I want to hear, like, you come to me and say, hey, Dustin, here's what I have. Rye forward, awesome whiskey, good proof. And you tell me why you like it. And you say, hey, like, man, for me, this is an 88. I go, okay, cool. And then I'm like, all right, so when Anthony says an 88 with rye spice, I'm going, you know what that means to me? $120 bottle. Now, you were saying, dude, that's a $170 bottle. Well, I'm like, nah, Anthony's a moron for that. That's how he prices. Anthony pays way too much for me. Or I come back and I say, Anthony, you say it's a $80 bottle. But your notes to me are like, man, no. Anthony's dumb. I'll pay $50 more than that. I would way more like it. That's how I think scoring should work.
You're right. I mean, everyone has their point exactly, and it's what you feel it's worth. You rated an 80. It's a good bottle. You're willing to pay 150. But in my thing is, yeah, it's a good bottle, but to me, it's not worth over 100. I might go as high as 110, but that's it. And we all say that. We all have our threshold on different things that we go, you know what? It's not that. And I've had picks that I thought were good, and I actually waited for them. And when I tried them, I said, you know, this old St. Nick is good, but it sure as hell isn't $200 good.
Yeah, but what I think we got to get to is coming up with a scoring system that we can be consistent with, if we can, to where you and I don't agree on value for money, but I know what your 89 is and my 89 is. And I go, you know what? Anthony's 89 is 110 for him. It's 200 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing I think we as reviewers need to kind of figure out if we can try to do. And it's hard, man. It's so tough. But I think that's
prices nowadays going up every day.
Yeah. But I think I think that's what the process should be. I get so mad when people throw in value to their scoring point system. Because if you're giving a numerical score and you're giving me like what I would pay, I'm like, dude, now we're just in like this weird world where I don't know what your income is. I don't know what my income is. Like, how do we do this? Like, what's your percentage of income you spend on whiskey versus mine? I don't know. Do you have kids? Because you have kids now, I gotta like adjust your score again. I just want to know the simplest fashion. Is this in the top 10% of whiskey you've had? Top 15? Top 50? Where are we at?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to know, is this really, really good, or is it just like, oh, that's pretty solid?
You're right. And that's what most people want to know. And what is the price? And then people sit back and go, okay, I'd pay that. Or, you know what? I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay more than this for it. And that's what I
remember when I first started seeing wine scores, and I was like, oh, look, Mom, it's a 90 for $10. That's a 90 for $300.
Yeah.
That's a $10 one. But and that, to me, that's what whiskey like reviewers should do. Is like, I give you a 90 on OLC, which is a $130 bottle from Port Charlotte, and then I'll give you a 90 score for a mediocre Lefroy 25. That's $500. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the Lefroy 25 probably has a ton of stuff that's better than the OLC. The OLC has a ton of stuff better than that whiskey, and I think the OLC is more fun to drink. It's better. That Lefroy, I might still buy both because one, even though it's better, I like the difference in flavors for the price, and I understand I pay more for those flavors than those flavors.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just trying to say, "Hey, man, I want to spend $400. What should I get?" OLC. I ain't even. That's what I told you. It's a 90.
Well,
that's a
those
90.
of us that have had that. Oh, absolutely.
But the thing is, if you haven't had it, man, what I'm telling you is buy. And I've had so many people come back and say, dude, you gave like an 89 to this whiskey. I thought like I never would have bought. And then I bought it. And they're like, I get it. Wow. And then I wouldn't have bought it if you hadn't given that 89. But if I just scored based on price, if I'd given it a 95 or something, like people been like, so do you get paid by the people? Like, what's with this? It doesn't. doesn't work. We got to be like, as a reviewing company group, we got to focus on like, look, how good is it? Ignore the rest.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up because I know it's almost 3 a.m. Well, I think it is 3 a.m. for you guys there on the east.
Yep,
because you and Brian are in the same side of the world, a few hours apart. But I'm going to finish this dram up and I'm going to call it a night because I'm going to do the same thing. I'll be up at 5 a.m., so that's in 5 hours. But I always enjoy these conversations, particularly when we get to break things down and really get in depth into some things. And, enjoy it, enjoy the feedback from the people, love the emails that I get talking about the stream and just even requesting different things. That's what I want to know. What do people want to hear? And particularly the people that are on this panel now and the ones that were on before, people say, are they coming back? Are they coming back? Because of what we talk about, how we talk about it, and the depth we talk about it. And I'm always grateful for the people in chat and the people that actually come on the stream live and put forth our knowledge. And we always say, you don't have to take our opinion. You don't have to take our word for it. You can find out for yourself, or you can just throw it all in the trash. We don't care. We're not experts. But Roy, from Aquavita today, I was watching Scotch on the Bayou for a little bit in between doing some classes I had to do. But he goes, and I'm paraphrasing, we're not experts, but we give our opinion in hope that that opinion has some value or weight to you so you can form your opinion on what your next purchase would be or if you make that next purchase. And I'm just grateful to have the people that I do that come on here every week and every night that I'm on and put forth their opinions to help us all, because we all don't have the same palates. And just like Justin was saying, and Simon and Brian's in there now, we all have different price points we'll pay for things. And that's absolutely okay, people. You don't have to pay the price if you don't want to pay. It's your money and you do with it exactly what you want to do with it. And on that note, I'm going to raise my glass to the people that are in chat and right here and say cheers. Look forward to seeing you all next weekend. Have a great week, people. See you later.
See you guys.
Cheers.
I love the goddamn bacon. That's a great name.
Oh, it's a classic.